Welcome back to the Shonen Post podcast. This is episode 28, and I'm your host, Yato. Once again, I'm joined by my co host, Papa Traffy.
Yo.
And this time we got a special guest extraordinaire, the Greek Weeb.
I am back.
He has returned from the dead. You said you can't make it next week, though, right? You got something going on?
Yeah, my brother's birthday.
Okay, so for the time he's here for the day, you got him for one night only. But next week you ain't got him. Actually, next week we got a couple things going on, so we might be absent next week. Sorry to those super loyal listeners who are looking forward to that juicy, thick steak of a Shonen Post episode next week. But I think we probably will be skipping next week. Sorry, but we should be back after that unless something happens. And if something happens, I'll make sure to update the Twitter. So make sure you keep an eye on that Twitter profile. But anyway, like I usually say, there'll be timestamps in the description to help you skip segments because we talk about 9 different weekly manga on this podcast. One of them is on hiatus, which is Ranger Reject, but the others are Chainsaw Man, Centuria, Dandadan, Gachiakuta or Gachiakuta if you're one of those guys. Shangri-La Frontier, like I said, Rangers on break, hiatus. We're now talking about Otter or Odor of the Flame. We'll see how Weeb pronounces it later because he probably says it a different way because who doesn't? And we got Kagurabachi and Ichi the Witch. So we talk about those 9 podcasts. This podcast we talk about those, and there's gonna be timestamps like I said a few seconds ago, so if you want to skip them, help yourself. Let us know down below, your thoughts, comments, concerns. Smash the like button, do the Rikishi stink face on the subscribe button, and all that good stuff. Share the video with a friend if you know they're listening to reading any of these stories and aren't listening to our podcast for some reason. Hope those losers become not losers. But anyway, we'll jump into this Chainsaw Man chapter 203, Human Shield. And Weeb, let's hear your thoughts since you're new here.
Oh man, we're already in a very annoying boss fight that I vaguely remember playing like a boss fight in a video game like this one time. Cannot remember, but this is literally just Denji trying to figure. Yeah, he's literally trying to like cut the guy's heart. Oh yeah, screw you. Here, I have an innocent person in the place where my heart is. Kill him in order to kill me. That's basically the majority of this chapter. Denji trying to figure shit out while he's getting manhandled. Yoru tries to do literally just trying to convince him, just kill these guys. What is the point? Do you care about them more than me or whatever? Trying to keep manipulating him as much as possible, and then Falling appears.
Yeah,
which I feel like Fujimoto loves just drawing the landscape destruction, because I remember watching a video by DJ Miles when this chapter also came out, talking about how when the last time Falling appeared, Fujimoto took a few weeks off because he just loved drawing loved doing how the panel work and the landscape destruction with all of Falling, and I can kind of see with all the work that goes into drawing those panels.
Yeah, he goes crazy with the landscapes.
Yeah, he definitely enjoys doing that. This fight, it's I guess it's fun, but just carrying over from I think last time me and Traffy were talking about Chainsaw Man, it is just I'm starting to have trouble caring about like what's going on. Like these last like 2 or 3 chapters I just felt like were silly. And like, yeah, it's cool, Chainsaw Man fight or whatever, but I don't know, it just feels like more spinning the wheels. I'm hoping that like in a few chapters, something happens to kind of change the way I see the story and stuff. But right now, I don't know. I mean, this is a new situation where like a villain is now trying to make Denji, make decisions where it's like, are you gonna attack me? If you do, you're gonna hurt these other people. I mean, it's a similar situation happened in the beginning of part 2 where Denji was fighting like the cockroach devil, and it was like, are you gonna save those people? And he was like, oh fuck those people, like he saved the cat or whatever. But
this is definitely a different situation.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Now he's directly like murdering people. But I mean, at this point, like, are they people? Like, can you separate them? They're fucking fused into this dude's arms and shit. So it's like, okay, those are no longer people. He's probably just like making them talk just to fuck with Denji's like mind or whatever at this point.
It
Yeah,
would be like extra fucked up if they were like actually conscious. I feel like that's definitely something Fujimoto would do, make them more conscious.
well,
Yeah.
so the we've talked about repetition and how that's been affecting Chainsaw Man lately. And so, this chapter definitely didn't help with that feeling because this does feel very similar to the Doll Devil situation. And I was just trying to find like the missing link, like something that makes it feel like this is purposeful repetition. And someone did point out that the dolls were already dead and unrecoverable. This time, the humans are actually alive and talking. All this while Denji is at his lowest, actively trying to make people like him. And that just felt like the missing piece to understand why it feels repetitive
Yeah.
on purpose. Um, and that kind of changed my outlook on the way this chapter is, because while it is a similar situation to something we've already seen Dingy in, it has its purpose, which is, Dingy being at his lowest and he's trying to figure out how to move forward while Yoru is manipulating him at this point. And then on top of that, you have him trying to look like a good guy and actually be a hero now. And it, on the surface, it feels like just repetition, but deep down, it's like showing Denji's growth as a character from part one by putting him in similar situations that he's already been in. It feels like a cheap way to show character
Yeah.
growth, but I think it works.
Yeah, good point. He's definitely like thinking about it more, versus like in the past he knew those guys were dead and he was just kind of flinging his chainsaw. So here he doesn't want to, like you said, he doesn't want to cause people to dislike him. And there's not like a horny girl situation going on, so he's not like fighting with his dick. He's actually like using his head and thinking like, oh man, it would suck to like cut those people up and murder them, because that's less people. If he saves them, then those people will go and say like Chainsaw Man is my hero, and it'll look great. He'll get even more bitches. But like if he kills them, that's less potential Chainsaw Man fans. So yeah, it works. It definitely feels like a fucking hamster wheel. And there were other cases like where Fujimoto did things that were kind of repetitive, but like I felt like it worked better. Not to say that, like, I mean, what you said kind of made me feel better about the situation, but like in the past, like with the Infinity Devil and with the Bat Devil, it was interesting because like it was showing those devils again, but it was showing how Asa would deal with them or whatever. So I didn't hate it back then, but like in this case, yeah, I like it if Denji's thinking, excuse me, hiccups. I like it if Denji's thinking more or whatever, and considering what would come from just beating this fucking loser. Um, but yeah, more Falling Devil. He like you said, he definitely likes to draw these buildings getting ripped up, and fucking actual Famine Devil is down here. Wonder what she's gonna do here.
Yeah, like she's under Death's control, but I feel like it put too much focus on her reaction for the end of this chapter.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
feel like there's the possibility that maybe the brainwashing isn't fully in effect for her. I mean, remember when she got, brought back after Death ate her? She literally slugged her the first chance she got. So it's a possibility that since she's like one of the four horsemen, she might not be fully under the control of Death. So it'd be interesting if she breaks through in the middle of all this.
Yeah,
yeah, I can
that's
see it kind of being like a blanket thing. Like overall, like you will do what I say, but like you still have your own free will to go and like do other stuff. It's just like don't think about like not doing what I said, but like you could go to Starbucks and get a drink and fucking fight somebody else to stop at the arcade. Like she can still do other things, but like her main programming at the end of the day is like go and cause terror or whatever.
I am curious though as to how Death's control work, because the other four horsemen, they have like specific rules for how they control someone. So like the control devil, she has to see you below her. War devil, she has to see that you belong to her. Famine devil, at least as far as we know, you have to be hungry. So is Death like you have to fear death, or what's her rule for controlling someone?
There was a couple chapters ago when she put them under her control, she killed them and ate them. So
Oh,
like she ate them and then she spit them back up or whatever. They became like totems or something. It's like chess pieces. So I think it's like kill. She gotta kill it and then eat it. And I think that's why she had I think that's why she's been, partied up with the falling devil, because they've been like kind of turning people into these exquisite meals. I don't know if that was stated, but I remember she ate them and then she spit them out.
yeah. I I'm looking back through it just to see if I can find a specific answer, but it's not. I guess it's
Let me
not
see.
that big of a deal. Holy crap!
Yeah,
I didn't realize how long Dingy and the fake Chainsaw Man have been fighting. It's been going on for a few chapters now.
yeah. Yeah, thank you for the meal. Yeah, it was chapter 199. Your power enslaves living things you've killed, but is it truly necessary for you to eat them alive? Meat tastes best fresh. Okay, so she don't I guess she don't have to eat them. Just like she can enslave living things that she's killed. I mean, at that point they're not living. Silly devil. Um,
Well,
but
I mean,
yeah.
I
No,
guess
sure.
maybe technically she eats them because she summons like crows to eat them, and then she
Yeah.
spits them out. So I don't know.
Yeah, she reached her hand down in her mouth and yanked them out, kind of like how Denji does. So yeah, the crows, I guess, are kind of like how Pochita and Denji kind of like share a stomach space or whatever. Like the crows eating them, I guess, put their bodies or whatever in her stomach or something.
Yeah.
Some sort of weird portal fucking whimsical mess. But yeah, so that's that.
Yeah. Well, not much else to say at this point.
Yeah, it's a fight chapter. Silliness happened. Buildings got ripped up. So guess we'll see if Asa helps. Well, if Yoru helps him out next chapter by being a terrorist, and what Fami can do.
Yeah.
Got anything else for this one, Traffy?
Nah, nah, I'm good.
We
No, just more fights.
Okay. That's going to do it for Chainsaw Man chapter 203 Human Shield. I don't know if it's on break, but by the time people are listening to this, 204 might be out. So just pretend you didn't read 204. Why don't you? Now, jumping into Dandadan chapter 195. It's a typhoon direct hit. And Traffy, what's your thoughts?
Um, this chapter was so I don't know. I feel like there's not much to say about this chapter, and it's not like a negative thing. It's just it's it feels like a setup chapter because we're getting a lot of explanation for the typhoon human and it's just characters reacting to stuff more than like a
Yeah.
progression of the story. So
Yeah, very true.
it feels kind of hard to talk about outside
Yeah.
of them explaining the typhoon human.
I was talking about it with Knox last week because we were saying that like back the last time when you were on me, when it was just me and you, we were talking about this whole airplane situation and how like if they do the alien space or whatever, like how does that affect the actual plane? And so like
Yeah.
I think we were saying like what if the plane like crashes or something? How does that affect things? So what do you think now that like the plane is, an engine is blown and like the plane is falling? Like when this all ends, do you think they're gonna be back in the normal plane, or do you think they're going to be like actually like in midair falling or something?
It- so it does add a bit more confusion to it, but the plane has to be okay because, for example, back to when they were fighting the mantis shrimp alien, the Loch Ness monster, the entire school was flooded, but as soon as they were out of the empty space, it wasn't flooded anymore.
Yeah,
So
Hmm.
you would take that and assume that once they're out of the empty space, the plane's okay, but on that note, what's going on with the Typhoon human? Is this an alien? Did it create its own larger empty space outside of the plane? Um, is it something supernatural instead of alien? Like, what is happening here as far as empty space goes?
yeah,
Because
that's a
this
good
feels
question.
different than everything else we've seen, because empty space typically isolates them to one location, but now it's like the entire sky is a part of the empty space.
Yeah. So like before I was thinking, I think it's kind of like a dimension thing. Like when the empty space is triggered, it's kind of like they just slide over to like a parallel dimension, and so like this everything over here is just happening differently. So now that you mentioned the face thing, the typhoon human, I wonder like if Vamola like disabled it, like if she was like, okay, we go back to normal. Does this thing disappear because it's in universe B and not like it's not present in the regular reality? Like does it just vanish and they can continue flying like nothing's wrong? Like is it there in both realities is what I'm wondering.
I don't
Mm.
I don't think so, because so the only things we've seen that are able to create and enter willingly a empty space are aliens, like Okaroon and Momo. They can't create empty spaces.
Yeah.
Um, so unless Vamola dragged in the Typhoon human, which I don't think is the case, the Typhoon human would have to be an alien and just kind of overwrote the empty space or just joined in on it.
Yeah.
That's my only theory as far as that goes.
Okay. What are you thinking,
Hmm.
Weeb?
Honestly,
About
I think I'm leaning more towards towards Traffy's way of thinking when it comes to the Typhoon human. But there's always the possibility, like when we were talking about how why they don't just leave empty space to avoid it. It's always possible that maybe Vamola's empty space, like thing from her suit, works differently, where like the damage done to the plane could still like be transferred over.
Uh,
yeah.
I mean,
That's always a possibility, but
we saw them enter her empty space in the school, and the school was still unaffected once everything was said and done.
uh,
Yeah, but that was
and
during that
that was
was
a
while
while
they
ago.
were that was while they were fighting the pygmy thing, and I don't
Yeah,
think anything massive. Well, there was a fire. They did light the classroom on fire. So
yeah,
okay.
fire and shit was being thrown around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting kind of hard to explain here, but that's the point of this guy writing the story and not us. I was me and Knox were saying last week that maybe this could be a thing where it's like we haven't there's still I can't remember if it's been confirmed completely, but I know it was something that was normal for the aliens to do, which was creating this like empty space. But like what if it's a thing where like some yokai can do it too, but they call it something different, like kind of like how they say like anything is considered magic, like science is magic until you know how to explain it or whatever. So what if the yokai are doing something that's very similar to this but don't like realize it yet? Like they're working from the same power system, but like they don't know because they don't have the education to understand it. So like in that way, it could be possible that some yokai could be able to do this shit, but maybe not. I don't know.
I just
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of, you know, the only thing I could think of, so for example, Nessie was a supernatural creature, not an alien, but it was brought into the empty space by aliens.
Yeah,
So that implies that the Typhoon human is either an alien or there is an alien bringing it into the empty space with them. But that brings us back towards the beginning of the series when they said that a lot of what is known as cryptids are actually aliens.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Because
yeah.
yeah, because Okarin's talking about cryptids here in this chapter too.
I do like how Momo instantly recognizes what's going on because Ocaron ended up just telling her a bunch of his cryptid facts. I actually find that kind of fun.
Yeah, I like
Like
that she was like paying attention.
yeah,
Yeah.
they hang out. They've been hanging out so much that now she like is actually now that she's fully interested in everything that he says. That he says, she has her own personal encyclopedia of this stuff. So now she kind of knows almost as much as him. So you don't automatically need him in these situations to at least get a basic understanding of stuff. I
Yeah.
actually kind of like that.
Yeah, it feels like Professor Oak says you can't ride this bike inside the building moment where she's like, "Oh shit, Okaru told me about this," and he's like nowhere near here. Like This is a cool situation. I just love that, like it shows that she actually was listening to this fucking nerd ramble on, whereas most people would just like ignore him and like push him in a locker or something. She was listening and paying attention and remembered this information that he probably told her like a year ago at this time in the story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I guess, yeah.
so what I find more interesting is talking about that. If you flip to the next page, they actually mention what the plane's doing, and they're like, "Hold on a sec, the plane's circling around. They must be planning to make an emergency landing at a nearby airport." And then Momo's like, "We're in empty space. Is the real world getting hit by the typhoon too?" So is this typhoon human in two places at once? Is it just
Oh,
looking like a normal typhoon to the people who are outside of the empty space? Because there's something going on that is affecting the plane in the real world, and then what's happening in the real world is being reflected in the empty space.
plus Sharknado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of possibilities because it's like I still feel like what's happening in the real world is not affecting whatever's happening here. So like I don't think there's not a pilot here. They didn't like Vamola. I don't think didn't bring like the pilot of the plane here. And I think what's happening is that in the empty space, the typhoon is grabbing the plane and it's like flying around in circles, like in this space. But like in the real world, the plane is probably still just like in a straight path to fucking Chicago or wherever the fuck it's going. So
Well,
like
So then, they say we can't go back. If we lose this chance, we won't get another till next year. So they are genuinely worried about the plane turning around to land or something.
yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah.
it's fucking weird.
I think I think I get it because it's very possible that maybe if this wasn't I don't remember if this was said at all, but it's very possible that they have like a strict time limit for when they can get Momo to that area to like get and everyone so they can get those curses lifted.
No, they do. But what he was saying is like it doesn't make sense that like the planes aren't linked. If this plane landing, like if what I was saying about them being two different planes and like if Vamola turned off the space, they appeared back in the air, then this timeline wouldn't matter because they're still like on the way. But because this plane looks like it's landing, that kind of implies that like the real plane is landing too, and that's gonna fuck up the schedule.
Yeah, there's like we've had an explanation for empty space, but they haven't gone in depth with the explanation, and so that's making this harder to understand. Which they could give us information. This could be them giving us information, but it just feels like it's not appropriately written,
Yeah.
and that's what's confusing us.
It feels like it
Yeah.
might be leading into like a plot hole. Like, hate to say it, but there might be like we might get an explanation for how all this works, and we might have gotten it in the past. But if we have not, I can't remember. But like this could potentially be something that just kind of like, oh, it just works. Like it just like in the end, like they'll beat the bad guy and the plane, like they'll close the empty space up and they'll just be like still on the way to the place and everything will be okay. And 20 chapters from now nobody like questions it because like the end result got achieved and it was cool, like the fight was fun, the art was great, and we saved the day, so like nobody like really questions it. But like now that we're here, it's kind of like what's really happening?
Yeah, like just give us some kind of confirmation here, um, about I mean they will give us confirmation obviously when this
Yeah.
is all ending, but just make it make sense, I guess.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where like even if he did like forget to give an explanation or something, I feel like sometimes either like in an author notes or like maybe in an anime, like they might add a few like extra like lines of dialogue to explain what happened here because oh yeah, he didn't really know, but like he told us, 2 months after he wrote it, he figured it out or whatever, but like it might just be too late to think of like a way out. I feel like he's got a way out of it. Like he has he definitely knows how they're gonna get out of this, but I don't think this has been explained, and it doesn't really feel like there is an explanation because of like landing the plane and like is the plane still in the air? Because like those civilians, like are they the people who were on the plane before she did this? Like are they fucking also wondering what the fuck is going on with the plane? Is the plane on fire like in the real world? I don't know. It's a lot of questions, and I guess we just gotta wait and see.
It could
That's really
be.
all I can do.
It could be that, like the typhoon isn't happening in the real world, but they did just see a group of people just disappear off of the plane, and so now they're going to land because of that. I if you, the viewer, has an answer or some theory, just let us know in the comments. That would be super helpful because obviously we're confused.
Yeah. And like at the end of the day, it's kind of like JoJo's, where it's just like sometimes things can happen. Like a fight can be fucking decided by a guy slipping on a banana peel and a fucking drop of water falling on an electrical socket and killing a dude who's standing on a ladder. Like shit like that can happen in Dandadan. So like ass pool it has like a bad, like vibe to it. Like when people say like ass pool or Deus Ex Machina, it doesn't feel good. But like every now and then, it is what it is. And like if something like that does happen, like it won't be the end of the world. Dandadan has been pretty consistent throughout the story. So like if we need, to pull an emergency fucking what the fuck to get out of this, sure. But I'd like for it to be explained and for it to make sense.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But so I had an idea for this. I want to hear you guys' thoughts if you have any before we close out for this chapter. But what'd you guys think about like how they're gonna kick this shit out of the typhoon or whatever? Any thoughts?
Hmm.
So before
I
before you think
I-
before so last week I was saying I feel like I don't think this is gonna happen, but last week I was saying what if they fucking like the plane does explode or like break and they get out of it or something, and like they end up free falling and Momo like grabs one of these sharks with their like psionic hands and they end up like riding a fucking shark in the air or something. I don't know how that will work because they
I
can't
want
really
that.
fight. Yeah, but like I guess the evil eye could like kick a bunch of sharks. He could jump like from shark to shark and like kick his disco ball or whatever. Maybe he could kick a shark into the fucking face or something. Maybe the eye of it's a typhoon. Do typhoons have typhoon that follows same rules as hurricanes and shit? They have an eye, right? The
yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Maybe there's an actual eye in the eye of the typhoon, and maybe he like drop kicks that shit or something, or kicks it out like a soccer ball. That'd be cool. But
It's
that wasn't.
Dandadan. Anything is possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be pretty outside of the box thinking because it feels like they're setting it up for something kind of crazier because they're like,
uh-huh.
typhoons are caused by warm ocean water and the water vapor it generates, and we have to take out one of those two things to stop the typhoon. So it's like, how do you cool down ocean water, or how do you get rid of the water vapor it generates?
Yeah, I have an idea for that. I want to hear what you guys say if you have an
Shoot.
idea.
No, go ahead, because I have no idea.
Okay. So, I mean, it's right there, like the last page, and the thing that will serve as the key to doing that. Like, okay, they're talking about the warm water is the engine, like you said, and the vapor, blah blah blah, is the gas. Eliminating one of those will extinguish the typhoon, and the thing that will serve as the key to doing that will be, and it's the shark. And they said that these sharks are like frozen or cold. So I think that Momo's is gonna
Oh,
grab like 100 of these sharks and basically like stick them in the
Torpedo.
water to cool the water
like ice
to
cubes.
yeah, like ice cubes to cool the like warm water that's causing the typhoon. So she'll just take all these fucking fish sticks and freeze the water with it basically, and it'll kill the typhoon. Maybe once it starts cooling down, the eye will reveal itself and the typhoon face will start yelling, and then it will get the whole GG going and fucking punching the eye of the typhoon like to the moon or something. But like my first thought when I saw this shit is like they said these sharks were like cold or frozen, so Momo just like grab a bundle of sharks and just stick them in the water and cool it down.
Now that you say that, I feel like this part of the arc is kind of setting up something for Gigi and what's his face, dude with the umbrellas.
Junji, yeah,
Yeah,
Zuma.
because they kind of just randomly threw in the fact that the umbrellas were, controlling themselves. So I feel like that's going to play into this as well as the evil eye, more so than
Hmm.
Momo. But I don't know in what way specifically. But it does feel like they were setting it up for those two characters more than anybody else.
Yeah, I like that, especially considering those two came to blows at the start of this arc. Like they were button heads and they kind of didn't like each other, so it would make sense for them two to team up in some way.
Actually, more so than just those two, the fucking mole people, I feel like they're going to help because I think they have an issue with aliens and, they want to survive too. So
Mhm.
they're going to play their part in, save or taking out the typhoon too.
Yeah, I think they will definitely like they'll probably be the first ones to be like, you know what, fuck it, truce. Because like I hate you guys, but like I want to live more than I hate you guys, and we'll kill you.
Yeah.
We'll kill you when we land, type shit. We'll get
That's
our
interesting.
revenge.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to see what they do. I feel like the fish sticks and maybe everyone will grab an umbrella. It'll be like a situation where everyone who has like some kind of slow fall ability will use it. Momo will like make wings or something. Somebody will ride a shark. Gigi will jump from shark to shark, and fucking everybody else will like hang on to an umbrella or something, and they'll just like slow fall. And I don't know. They're on a plane, and planes have like parachutes and shit. So everybody probably grab a parachute. I don't know why I forgot that like they could just reach under the seat and get a parachute. Like, oh, they're on this plane. They're doomed. Like, no, the planes have things for this. But yeah, it's a interesting situation, and it sucks that it's on break this week. So, gotta wait another 7 days to find out how we get out of this. So
No.
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I think I'm spent for this one. We got anything?
No, just that we're gonna punch a typhoon at this point.
Okay. Traffy, anything
Uh,
else?
I'm tapped out.
All right. Well, that's it for Dandadan. Funny page with Vamola kind of filling up that hole with her big bodysuit. That was silly, but crazy if she got sucked out anyway. But yeah, anyway, that's that's it for Dandadan chapter 199. It's a typhoon direct hit. Now jumping into Shangri-La Frontier chapter 221. Every second becomes history, standing idly by or not. I love the title. Sometimes I pay attention to the titles, but like this time I read this chapter and I didn't like think about the chapter at all. But I just as I have to say the chapters for the intro, I just noticed that this was like a cool one. They're always pretty cool, but this is cool stuff here. That didn't really have anything to say, but that's cool. Anyway, good chapter. Shangri-La Frontier always comes with that fucking double stuffed, quasi stuffed burrito sized fucking information load. So beefy chapter here is what I'm trying to say, and so many words. So a lot of stuff happened. Really good one. What do Weeb, you ain't been here, so I'm gonna ask you a couple times what your thoughts are first, because you're new here.
I'm new.
Yeah, the new guy.
Yeah, the new guy again. Well, first off, I'm just gonna say this because I know this has been like a theory for a long time in the Shangri-La Frontier community, at least in manga readers that I've seen so far. This chapter, it basically confirms that Vash is one of the seven colossi, right? Based on how we talked to Siegworm in this chapter. It was already very implied, but like this kind of more or less confirms it.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
I do
was
like.
one of Yato's theories. So he gets the W on this one.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'll
It
take
feels
it.
like an obvious thing, but like
Yeah, it kind of
Yato
like,
tends to bring up stuff.
because they showed the silhouettes, and like
Yeah.
there's
One of them was a rat.
there is still a possibility that there's another rabbit or whatever, because I think he did say he had a brother at some point, and then like in his like crib he's got like that paneled fucking wall or whatever, and it's got like two different there's like a white rabbit and a black rabbit kind of fighting on that like design or whatever. So it's possible that maybe his brother is the colossus, but I do think that it's him.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this was go ahead. We let you spit some more. See what you got.
All right. So back with Ash and Seagworm, outside of like starting a massive event in the game, that is definitely like we're definitely starting the next arc right now within the next chapter or two. I like how this we've said this a couple of times with Shangri-La Frontier, but I like how despite this being like a video game, the world in the game does feel like its own living, breathing world, which is how the fact that Vash and Seagram are interacting in game without any other player's interventions. Well, after Seaworm kind of just bodied a group of adventurers that just decided to like try and challenge him, and he just one shots them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This This kind of reminds me of like, because you know, in most video games, the NPCs are always just kind of waiting for you to get there. You know, so like nothing happens without the protagonist, but like there's also sometimes where like you get there, like in some Pokemon games, like you'll get to a village and they'll be like, oh, you know, Professor Shimsham isn't here yet. You know, you gotta he went on a fucking business trip to go get some Pokédexes or something, and then like he shows up like right after you like beat the gym leader, like you do something, and then like the NPC who, you know, two villages ago, they told you, oh, you know, go holler at Professor Jimmy Johns. And like when you get to his village, Jimmy Johns is gone. And it's like, okay, where is he? They tell you he's gone. And they're like, he doesn't, you can wait all day. You can stand still, you know, you can stay at that one spot all day long for 3 weeks and he'll never come. But like the second you beat the gym or like defeat Team Rocket, it's like, oh, here's Professor Jimmy Johns. He's suddenly back or whatever. So it's like, that's kind of happening. But at the same time, like, what we're
He's forgetting
seeing is
stuff in the background.
yeah, what we're seeing what Professor Jimmy Johns was doing, like while you were like beating the Elite Four or something. Like Vash is gone from the Rabbit Land, Rabbituza, Lagonia, whatever. Vash is gone, but like we see what he's doing, and that's like super cool because like I said, it's a fucking video game. So like normally he just wouldn't exist anywhere until like the game needed him to come back. But it's crazy and super cool to see him actually going to this other land, like climbing this mountain and meeting with a whole other NPC. And this isn't for the like player. Like this, normally that type of thing happens for like a player. Like you would have like if an event like this would happen, it would be playing like you know, like in those stealth missions in a video game, like it would be like Sunraku go stand here and like he'll stand behind a box and then it'll play a cutscene where you see like Vash talking to Siegworm. But like nobody is here watching this. This isn't for any player. This is like really happening in the story, and that's super crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I've
really
had
awesome.
this.
And
I've had like
keep
this.
going.
I've had like this running idea. Like every now and again you run into a moment in Shangri-La Frontier where everything feels too alive. And so I've had this running idea with no backup information, like just off the top of my head. But it feels like just a general idea to throw out there. Maybe the souls of the creator of the game have been implemented into the game, which is why you see these things occurring outside of player interaction. So these are like real people, but not. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Digimon?
No, I thinking more Sword Art Online.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's-
Oh yeah,
that's
say
correct, too.
Alicization and stuff.
It kind of feels like they're slowly like breaking the fourth wall. Kind of like the game characters are slowly becoming like aware that they exist in a game. Like there is another world out there because they talk about like the humans and like the people from like another era and outsiders and stuff like that. And it kind of feels like they might like maybe not right now, but maybe like slowly over time they might start to become aware that like these people like Sunraku are from an outside world and bring like these influences. Because Sunraku's like talking about I gotta go to school and you know like he's always doing stuff that doesn't really make sense like to someone like Emil. Like if he logs out for you know 2 weeks because he's fucking grounded or his mom makes him go to like summer camp or something, Emil's like gonna be you know wondering where he is, and like those type of things might slowly you know cause changes in these characters. So like it feels like they might slowly start becoming aware that they are in a game or something, and I don't know how they can you know do anything about that.
Yeah, that's very
Just
possible.
just as a side topic, do either of y'all remember what the skills are that Sunraku learned from Weathermon?
Well,
Oh,
they talk
I
about him at the
forgot.
beginning here.
No, like specifically what they do.
Oh no, because actually these abilities I don't remember. Like I remember with Zymon doing attacks. I don't remember them like off the top of my head, but I do not remember any of these three names. There was something that was like Taizai or something. There was a couple moves that he had, and none of these names kind of like flick a light bulb. So these all feel like either new abilities or like new names or like just different abilities that Wazimon didn't do, or like maybe like the player version, like maybe like when Wazimon casts it, it might be called like Calamitous Thunderstrike, but like when you learn it, it might just be called like Thunderstrike. Like the player version might be like a little watered down. So I think that might be what's going on here.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
am curious to go back and take a look just to see if there's any relation, so we can see what Sunraku might be using eventually. But I feel like these three skills are going to go hand in hand with the new items he's learned how to use.
Yeah,
Possible.
that'd be cool. I'm trying. I'm kind of flipping through now. At the moment you're, uh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's super cool that he just gets all these abilities. Like Sunraku stay coming up, like on loot and like abilities and stuff. So this is interesting to see what he does with this and if there's more. Because like, I mean, three or four skills at once is kind of a lot. You don't normally get like four moves at once when you get like a spell book. Um,
yeah,
but Shangri-La Frontier is a bit different, and this was a boss drop spell book. So
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, look, at least when it comes to Son Raku's like power ups and new skills, he does earn them for the
yeah,
most part.
yeah,
and
he had to
then
fight his ass off.
not only does he earn them, but then he has to learn how to use them. So anything he gets never feels like unearned because
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's gonna fight to get it, and then he's gonna figure out how to use it.
yeah.
yeah, because I've heard some people online call him like a Mary Sue or he gets unearned power ups, and I'm like, you say that with a Sun Jin Woo profile picture. I can't believe you on that one.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, look,
I
at the
do.
beginning, the guy earns his powers, but at the end of the day, it's more or less effortless. But that's a discussion for another time.
But at the end of the day, like it is also a video game, and he is
Yeah,
running a luck build. So like a
Yeah.
lot of his stuff, like I'm still planning on doing it, but spoiler, like I plan on making a video about like luck characters who have a lot of like luck. So like Sunraku is one, Fuko, and just like how luck, the different ways that luck can be used in like anime and manga, and like how it may or may not feel bad sometimes. And I think Sunraku is a good way of using it because his luck skill also affects stuff like crit rating and like item drops and stuff. And it's like he gets skills that make it so that like if I would get hit from a move that would normally one shot me, I would survive a 1 HP once every week or some shit. So like there's things that make it not feel as bad versus just having ways to like write plot holes in. It doesn't feel like it's a plot hole. It feels like a video game, and there's RNG and stuff. So it feels cool with Sanraku.
Yeah.
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 You'll probably have another character for that luck video in the next 2 weeks because 2BROX recent character they're focusing on has luck based powers.
I'll have to watch that. I was
It's
definitely trying
really
to
good.
gather a few examples before I start writing that, but I have a few in mind. But I'll watch that before I start for sure. Now that you said it, but yeah, this is cool. Sanraku's getting more powers, and it looks like Kyogoku has made her move, whatever that is. She screwed the pooch.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I'm guessing
yeah.
she went and murdered like a bunch of people or something, or pissed somebody off and like just started a beef. It was like, yeah, I'm in. She probably like either murdered a bunch of people in game, or she went and like talked shit to somebody and was like, my guild, Wolfgang is gonna shit on yours. We're gonna like we're gonna take all the boss skills from now on. You're not getting shit. Like I can just see her like pissing off like the entire she goes on like the Shangri-La forums and she's like, none of you fuckers are getting any ball skills from now on. It's all Wolfgang. Like, just claimed it
Yeah,
for the whole server now knows Wolfgang and is like, fuck those dudes.
Wolfgang gets listed as like a player killer guild, and now they have to deal with the repercussions of a negative outlook on their guild while they're trying to advance in the story.
Yeah, people
yeah,
just people
Yeah.
just start attacking like Sunraku or like Saiger like out in the middle of nowhere because they think that like they're player killers. They're like, whoa, what's going on, bro? Like, you guys are affiliated with those fucking with fucking Pencil Gun and Kyogoku, so you can't be good people.
Yeah.
You're trying to ruin the game for everybody.
That's going to be unfortunate.
Yeah.
yep. Only a matter of time.
Yeah. Can't wait to see where that goes. But yeah, then we get to the fucking Siegworm, man, and he looks fucking cool. This first page, Siegworm, the Sky Ruler, I thought he was like, I had to look at it a bit, but like in this first panel, I thought he was kind of like sitting on a throne with like his elbow on like the arm of the chair with his head up, like his hand like holding his head up, like It does not look like that's the case. Like on the bottom panel, you can see that it's his arm just going all the way down, and his hand is like near the bottom of his wing or whatever. But I thought he was just kind of sitting there like bored, like a
I
king, but
I
like
I
his
think
doesn't.
design's
he
sick as
is.
hell.
Oh no, he's
Yeah,
not.
I think
That's
his hand is
yeah,
coming all the way down.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
but like at
is.
first, I thought it would have been cool if he was looking down on them like he was a bored like king at the top of his sky throne or whatever.
Seagworms
I like
are a
his
farming.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I love his personality. He's like, they're gonna come at me with everything they got. Very well, I'll do the same.
I will torch these losers. Yeah, he even tells him like, I don't have time for this, bro. Like I got another guest coming. So even he knew that Vash was coming. That's funny.
Yeah,
What are they like emailing each other? Yeah, big ass fucking fireball.
they have a sixth sense to know when the colossi are near.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Eh,
yeah,
I, I
this is cool stuff.
I love how Vash is hyping up Sunraku.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
just like, It's not much longer. He's gonna be here," and Seagworm's excited about it.
Yeah. But they never fail to like drop a bunch of new like terms and like things that you wonder about, like those hyphae. What the fuck is that? The blight, the dragon blight is near, which I think is that other dragon, like that black dragon that was like basically saying fuck Seagworm like 6 or 7 chapters ago. But then whatever, I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Hyphae? Those hyphae are after your neck. I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. Maybe it's abbreviation or something. I'm sure the second plan humans will take advantage of that. I'm pretty sure. I'm imagining that's like the current players, like second plan humans. I feel like is like
I,
Sunraku and people of this age.
it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The funny thing, this is definitely like on purpose because I'm pretty sure that they're talking about terms that the Son Rakuin gang would have learned if they played the game in order.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably been a bunch of things that like he would have learned from NPCs if he actually did the quests, but instead he farmed sheep for like 40 hours.
Yeah.
It's like if you would have just did some more quests and got more story stuff, then like this would make a lot more sense, and you'd probably be on the way to this guy. But instead, you're gonna go do something else.
Yeah.
The cool part about this is what's her face? The chick that was marked by Seagworm? She's definitely gonna
Uh,
have a big role to play in this fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Akitsu. What is it? Fucking. I'm gonna look up the name.
Yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Akitsu Akane.
Yeah, Akitsu Akane. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
good call there. Yeah, she fought this thing and like survived long enough for it to kind of like Sanraku with Lakion or
Yeah.
whatever. She like fought with it long enough for it to be like impressed and marked her. So like she didn't get shit on, and she was like a beginner, similar to Sanraku. And like these dudes, they came armored up. They fucking they did it in like a raid group. There's like 8 of them here. One, two, yeah. There's literally 8 people here. They all get smoked by one fireball, and Akitsu apparently like squared up and fucking boxed with it for a set amount of time and didn't get roasted. So yeah, that's got to be dope. Can't wait to see what that is about. And like it can talk, so it probably spoke to her too. It was probably like good job, human. I'm impressed type shit. Versus like Lakia didn't really say shit. It just like barked Sanraku and bounced.
Yeah. I Oh my god, there is just
A
so
lot.
much coming up. Like the Dragon Blight conflict is about to go down in history as a fantastic arc. I just feel it.
I need it, man. I need for this to be a major, like a big arc. Something. I really hope they like the previous arcs, like Wazamon and fucking Katarnet and stuff like that. Those were good, the gaming arc. But I need this to like blow those out of the water and just be something that people talk about. Like I want to be able to hit the timeline and be like, bro, the Dragon Blight arc is fucking just way different from anything else that's like fucking releasing right now. Like that would do a lot. People would be like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck is
Yeah.
Dragon Blight?" Like that's such a cool name too. Like the Dragon Blight art, bro. Like, come on, dog.
Definitely has
There's
something to do with that dark Seagworm that we saw a couple of chapters ago.
yeah, like what the fuck is that? Like, is it like a poison dragon? Because you say blight, I'm thinking like toxic or something, or maybe it's just like the evil, corrupted dragon. And it felt like he was mad that because people thought that he was Seagworm and he felt insulted. Like he was like, don't compare me to that fucking shitter. I'm far superior. Like he's coming for Seagworm's head. So it's like this the first time we've seen, to have that kind of like aura or whatever, to be like that, you got to be strong. So he's got to be somebody who's comparable to Seaworm in strength, I think. And so like to have a Colossi have a rival or like another or a similar Colossi level threat coming for him along with the players, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it actually kind of reminds me, just hearing Dragon Blight, it reminds me of Dragon Age Origins,
Mm.
where you have like what the fuck's it called? It's a blight dragon that summons a blight that causes the darkspawn to show up to attack people. And this is a video game, so we might see something similar in regards to a dragon blight, which would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's possible.
I can see it. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to say. Let me try and find the page. Oh, okay. It was just about this last page. It reminded me. So this page is really cool. This World Quest Level 3, the battle to fell the Golden began at this moment. And it has the different panels with all the different parties. It reminded me of the Ranger page. So it's like a conflict that will involve the dragons who live today. And it shows the Dragon Blight, Vash, and Seaworm, Kyogoku, the Dragon King who's lived up to this moment, and people across the wide world, the Dragon Blight conflict. And it reminds me of that page, spoiler for people who haven't read Ranger Reject, but it reminds me of the page at the end of the Monster Zoo arc after D stabs you know who, and it shows everybody on the page, and it goes invaders, citizens, rangers. They were all still ignorant of the storm that Foot Soldier would unleash. And it was a couple more like before that were really cool, but like it felt like a similar vibe reading that. It felt like the whole world is about to be wrapped up in this conflict, and nobody is aware of like how grand this like storyline is about to be.
Yeah, which I can see that now that you pointed out, because it does feel really similar to that, and maybe that's why I'm so hyped for this arc coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, this Dragon Blight shit looks cool, and this dragon it looks like it's got like the fucking guts armor on, like you look at the berserk, you see Seaworm, and he's I don't know what color he is, but I'm just gonna say he's gold, but he looks
I
like
think he's supposed to be gold.
yeah, he looks like he's a golden regal, fucking king dragon amongst the heavens, and then this other one, he's fucking dark black, his teeth are showing, his eyes they look fucking hateful. And it just looks cool as fuck. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah.
And you got all these other characters with their all everyone's got their own like missions and things they want to do, but there's a whole other conflict going on that like they don't even know about. Like, yeah, they know Seaworm exists, but they don't know that when they get to Seaworm that there's another dragon trying to like rip its head off. Like, it's probably gonna be a big confusing mess. Like, yo, I thought this was our kill. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh shit. I'm excited.
Yeah. This is probably the most excited I've been for a while. Like I said, there's been a bunch of good arcs in Shangri-La Frontier, but I don't think any of them have had like a lot of like upfront build up hype. Like they were all like, oh yeah, we're going to see, Zaman, and it was cool. And like the fight ended up being incredible. And like, the Katarnet fight was incredible, but like none of them had this level of like build up, I feel like. And so many other things happening in the background. Like this, Sunraku has no clue that this is happening. Like he's looking at spells and shit. He's in like an underground laboratory, learning lore about something completely different. And like while this is happening, Vash is having tea with a dragon on the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I do feel like he's about to learn something crazy though, as far as let me actually look through real quick. Y'all can chat, but I'm looking through to see what was going on with this 3D video, or the information he was trying to look into.
Yeah. And I mean, now that you mentioned that, it's very possible that like before I was saying kind of like this could have been the defeating the gym scenario. Like Sunraku, Vash told him to do this thing, like go find this stuff. And then after that, Sunraku went and he he found this like lab or whatever, and then like doing that could have been the thing that triggered Vash to go and basically return to the village. The professor that comes back, like this could be him defeating Team Rocket. So like once somebody does what Sunraku has just done, maybe that triggers the next event, and now Vash like goes to talk to the dragon, or it could be completely unrelated. But just Sunraku did do something that he wasn't fucking doing, and it seems completely unrelated. But like you said, it might next week Sunraku might get a message that says like go to fucking Shim Sham Canyon and fucking fight a dragon or some shit.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, but I think before all that, we're gonna go see what Kyogoku did because Pentagon called for an emergency, and she sent it to Sunraku and Kazo. They should probably include some other people in there soon because their guild, their clan now is like 8 deep. So just calling for them to. I mean, I guess they're the like lieutenants of the clan or whatever. So it's like, yeah, just call the big dogs. We don't need to get these new people like Rust involved. They don't need to see that we got some kinks in our armor or whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with that. Come to Serpent's Apple and Leventar. So that's the 11th town.
So I'm like looking back through it, I am curious if what the guy in the video was talking about is referring to the Dragon Blight, because he's like, I'm not going to be a doom mongering pessimist like the others. The root of this disaster lies here. And he's talking about trying to stop it. And, with this new chapter and the whole conversation between Seaworm and Vash, I completely forgot about this mechanical tentacle that attacks this dude. So, what part is that going to play in the Dragon Blight? There's so many pieces.
Or it could just not be part of the Dragon Blight at all.
Maybe.
Wait, so he does say something about I'm not gonna be a doom mongering pest. He says something about the Dragon Blight in this?
No, he just says the root of this disaster lies here, and that feels very coincidental, leading into something called the Dragon Blight that's being hyped up.
Yeah, it could be like a kind of like AI, like the Dragon Blight could be like a machine, and it could be like a virus or something that like infects the rest of the dragons in the world type thing. Like it might be planning to kind of like infect everything and destroy it from the inside or some shit. Maybe the machines are kind of raging and flipping out, and he doesn't want basically like the dragon coronavirus to get out or something. I don't know.
That kind of feeds into my theory a little bit more about the relation to Dragon Age Origins, because he's talking about all of us have come from the sky is our domain. There are no gods in heaven, no, they reside here down below. And the Dragon Blight in Dragon Age Origins starts underground with the dwarves.
Okay.
So
I mean, we know that the author is a big gamer. Like they play a bunch of games, so it could be something that's inspired by that. I haven't played that game, but I might have to look into it now.
Yeah, highly recommend. Anyways.
Yeah.
Sidetrack.
But I think I think we squeezed a fucking ton out of this chapter. I think I'm spent.
Yeah, and watch we missed something somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shangri-La's a lot.
Shangri-La has a lot to unpack. There's a lot of layers here, thick onions. But yeah, I'm squeezed out. You got anything else for this one, Weeb?
Nah, I'm good.
What about you, Traffy?
I'm good. Just surviving my Mongolian butt throat.
All right, yeah, yeah. Okay. Shout out to Mongolian butt throat, and shout out to Knox for missing this crazy segment with lots of lore. Shame on him. But yeah, we'll end that there. That's Shangri-La Frontier, chapter 221. Every second becomes history, standing idly by. Or now, actually, before I move on, the title, bro. The title. Every second becomes history, standing idly by or not. So whether or not you do anything in this story, like shit is still happening. Whether Sunraku and the players are not doing anything, Vash is still going to see Seaworm. This is so cool, man.
Yeah.
This is fucking perfect. Just beautiful. Chef's kiss. I kissed the chef, but I'm the chef. Yeah, man, that's gonna fucking do it, man. Chapter 221, every second becomes history, standing idly by or not. Go if you ain't reading this shit. You wouldn't have made it this far, but like in the next segment, I'm gonna tell you to read this shit. So shout out to you. Now jumping into Gachiakuta, chapter 137, the real doll festival. And I promised in the last chapter review that I would say this, but go read Shangri-La Frontier. If you ain't reading that shit, you ain't escaping. I'm in this segment too with it, baby. Go read Shangri-La Frontier. Do it now. But back to this doll festival. Yeah, I really love this chapter. Crazy plot twist that like no one, if you say you saw it coming, you're a liar, and I'm gonna come to your house and tell you to your face you're a liar. But I really love how, like I was saying, I wanted this to be a long arc, and now it feels like it's definitely going to be a longer arc. Because like with the last couple chapters, I didn't feel like it was gonna end anytime soon, but like a major part of it with Rudo kind of finding the white crow or whatever, with it I guess being to Lily, even though she wasn't the white crow, but like he thought that that was the goal. He thought that mission was kind of complete, and he still wanted to know more or whatever. But like there's still just a lot more to this arc, and that's like super cool. So I'm glad we're still here, and it's looking like it will be a thick one. And like something that I always be wanting is like these arcs to involve just like a larger scale. Like every big arc in this series so far has been, it's been action packed and there's been a lot of characters, but they all were like the players of the arc. They weren't like civilians. So like with this, it kind of reminds me of like a Shibuya or something where there's like civilians. I love to see like scale like this where there's a lot of people that aren't like the characters that we follow, like Rudo and the cleaners. These are like people in the crowd who might be collateral damage, or who might get roped into to being forced to do something. And there's like, the cleaners, and then there's the Hell Guard here, and like the Vandals might make an appearance, and there's like two or three factions here, plus the new antagonist that we meet, plus like all the innocent bystanders who could get roped into this. So it's really cool to like see that this arc is going to be a lot bigger than I could have hoped. But what are your thoughts on this one, Traffy?
So I have one issue with this chapter, and it's the fact that the White Crow spends so much time saying, "Don't be confused, don't ask any questions, I just need you to do this." And then, like, a few pages later, he's like, "Oh, Lily didn't explain anything to you. Now I'm gonna explain it to you." And it's like, if you would have explained this from the beginning, Rudo probably wouldn't have hesitated
Yeah,
instead of trying
Yeah,
to be cryptic and mysterious.
yeah, true.
I
He
love
was
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and like this could have gone a lot smoother. Rudo probably could have just like enacted the plan, 5 minutes ago, if like he would have said something. But I mean, there was no way to know that Lily
Yeah.
wasn't gonna say shit. But like, still, it's funny to know that like maybe his goal could have been achieved, but too Lily forgot to like say something, or did she forget? Like, was it on purpose? Maybe it wasn't on purpose. It's a lot going on. She doesn't seem like she's antagonist, friendly or whatever. But like, yeah, it's funny that this plan falls apart because Rudo just doesn't understand, and like the dude doesn't realize that Rudo doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how Engine is like looking over towards Rudo, kind of assuming something's up.
Yeah,
It's
because
like it's like a mixture of him assuming something is up, but also a mixture of jealousy, at least from what we've
Yeah,
seen by the past chapters.
because to him Rudo is just holding a big, beautiful, and lovely smelling bra that he's like, that should be me. That should have been
that
me.
that is my favorite gag of the arc.
Yeah,
Because
Rudo
now
just
look to everybody, he's just crouching down the side, just talking into a giant bra.
Yeah, he's probably like, this kid is going nuts, but like, I guess those tits were crazy. Like, he probably just thinks that
Oh man,
Rudo's just in love with it.
So,
yeah, but
so
yeah.
go ahead, Greek. You
No,
haven't
no,
had
no,
much
no,
to
no,
say
I was
about
letting you
this.
talk. Sorry about that.
Check out these
So
gentlemen.
the thing that I'm not confused about, but I'm questioning, is so he's using the chokers. The new antagonist is using the chokers to control people, and we get this scene. All right, everyone, let's be quiet now. And our main characters, all of their eyes are still normal, but then the crowd, they have like this backwards 3 in their eye, and I'm pretty sure that's symbolizing the mind control. But why aren't our main characters affected? Is it something that other givers are
I,
resistant to, or what?
I, I think it's because they're not wearing their chokers.
Yeah, I
But
think they're just not wearing them.
they
Yeah, not wearing
are.
their chokers. Everybody, no, they're not.
Yeah, they
I
are.
don't think are they?
No,
I
they're
don't
not
think
wearing
they
their
are.
chokers.
Didn't because like two Lily gave this one choker to Rudo. He's only
Oh
wearing
yeah,
one choker,
you're
and then
right.
like
I saw a panel earlier with
Rio,
Scissor Girl, yeah,
yeah,
and
she's got like a necklace on.
yeah, I thought that was a choker. Never mind. Y'all are right. Y'all are right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
The other thing I was
while
gonna say is it could just be like a resistance, but I just think it's just that they're not wearing chokers.
yeah, and then while Rudo is wearing one, it was one given to him specifically by the White Crow or the choker maker, so it's
Yeah,
probably special. So that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. That and like the Hell Guard, I'm pretty sure they took theirs off when they entered. I'm pretty sure there was a page specifically where it showed like Zonka's brother like taking his off, going like fuck this. And
Yeah.
but yeah, everybody here is wearing one, so it's kind of like I wonder if this is a well the symbol in their eyes is like it's on Mimo's like coat or whatever. It's I guess it's a M. I don't know. It's a sideways M or like a 3, but he has it on his design. And so it could be for M for mind control slash Mimo or whatever, Mimo, but um, yeah, just this reveal was crazy. Like I'm mad because I kind of got spoiled. Like before I read the chapter, I had saw the picture of him where he was like standing there, arms out, but I didn't know any context. So I knew that like at some point Mamo like was gonna have this page, and then as I'm reading it, I'm seeing that like they're talking about like someone is doing something and they're gonna mind control. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be Mimo. Like it was still a good reveal, but like I knew who it was going to be, and that sucked. But like, if I didn't know that Mama was going to be involved, this would have blew my fucking head off. Yeah,
You know what really sucks? Mildreda's wearing her collar.
yeah, man. I need her to
Oh,
take that off.
no. I'm hoping there's like a range, but I would assume not, since the idea of this is to take over the world. It's probably connected to every single choker.
If it's every choker, that's nuts.
Ugh.
Yeah. It is honestly, a part of me was kind of afraid that they were gonna like do another thing with like the Raiders, because I feel like that would end up just being repetitive at that point.
What do
Which
you mean?
I'm glad we got the swerve that it was actually the radio host that we've been hearing since the very beginning of the manga that is like the person that's going to be screwing shit up here right now in
Wait,
this arc.
was he present on radio? Like, I never paid attention until the Doll Festival when he was talking. What do you remember him being like a host previously? Like, was he on
Yeah,
radio stations and stuff?
yeah, the radio station's been like on and off throughout the manga from the time we met the cleaners, I believe,
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back.
or from right after we met Jabber for the first time.
Okay, you might have just lifted my fucking brain off. I gotta go and look that up now. If anybody in the comments wants to fucking confirm that, I hope it's true. If so, that's fucking crazy. If he's always just been like in the background, like talking, knowing that he was gonna do this, that's nuts. That makes
I
this even crazier.
I wonder if he's a part of the Raiders.
I don't think he is. I don't
I,
think he is. I mean,
I mean, if
it's a
they
golf
reveal
festival.
it, they could always reveal it, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't feel like I feel like I would like it more if he's not. Like I like there being more parties, like more people that
yeah,
like
that that makes sense, because like his goal is to control everyone, basically take over, and that doesn't align with what the Raiders wanted.
yeah. And like I wonder if I feel like he doesn't know that like the cleaners are here. So I wonder if like if I'm right and he's just doing this and he's gonna be like, oh shit, a couple guys aren't, oh shit, those are the Raiders. Or like if his plan like if next chapter all these like zombies are gonna turn around and look at Rudo and be like, you gotta die. Like does he know that they're there and his plan was kind of like accelerated to go ahead and stop the cleaners from doing their thing, or was he completely like, is this just a test? Like he knew this is going to be the perfect avenue to like use his mind control and gather like thousands of people, and it just so happens that like there's a couple people that aren't affected, or is he going to be surprised?
Here's my question though. How did the Hellguard know? Because they were looking for him specifically.
Helgard seems to have a lot of information.
Yeah.
There's some. I mean, they're like a violent bunch, so they probably get down and dirty and beat the shit out of people and force them to tell them what they want to know.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be the case.
That I feel like we do need some explanation for that. It doesn't feel like off or bad right now, but we definitely need like, hey, how did the Hellguard find out about this?
Yeah, yeah,
Imagine
they
if the
probably.
choke. Imagine if like the choker maker also like found a way to contact the Hellguard or tip them off,
Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna
that's
say.
why
It's
they're there.
probably like an anonymous tip, but like even on this page with Mildretta, like when he opens the door, like he's just got the blade at Mildretta. Like, what the hell are you people doing here? Like, bro, you didn't. Like the cop coming to your window, to ask you for your license, but the gun is already at your face. It's like, bro, chill. Like, can
Like
you fucking,
we're the fucking good guys. What are you doing holding a blade to me?
yeah, like, can you ask me my name first? And there's so many of them. Like, there's, bro, like Mildretta and the other chick, I don't know her name, but there's like 10 people from the Hellguard like surrounding the car. Like they couldn't drive off if they wanted to. Yeah,
Yeah, this is about to get crazy as well. Shangri-La and Gachiakuta, they're setting it up. They're setting it up right now.
yeah, this is good stuff. And like they know, Rudo, like his dad, like these people have some kind of knowledge on his dad. Like To Lily knew who his father was or whatever, and I think the choker maker said something about his dad. I can't remember, but like Rudo clearly wants information, and like instead of getting what he wants to know, they're just telling him like, do what I want before, first, and then maybe I'll tell you some shit. But now Rudo's in a situation where it's like you got to save these people, and
You know,
like,
that brings up another interesting point. So, because the Hellguard know that this is going down, it makes them seem kind of omnipotent, like they know what's going on in the world, but they have no idea about Rudo. Like
What
you
do you
would
mean?
think you would like they don't know Rudo's from the surface. In the previous chapters, um,
Oh
they
no,
they were
I think they have an inkling on it. That's
I
why
th-
they wanted to see Rudo to begin with.
I think in the chapter where Zonka's sister came and talked to, I think she talked to Corvus. I think she mentioned it or something.
That
But I
they don't
don't.
know it's Rudo. They know they
Okay.
have like a sky person, like a person from the sky. They just don't know it's Rudo yet.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Zonka was talking about it in a previous chapter in this arc. He was like, "Hey, keep your head down," so they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta Definitely gotta go back and reread some stuff. There's a lot of details, and like it's easy to miss stuff, especially like if what Weeb said is right, and this dude has been mentioned on the radio before. Like that shit's gonna be fucking nuts. Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
completely I saw him and I thought he was literally just like Present Mike created for this arc. And if not, that's crazy if he's always kind of been in the background. Um, yeah, we get a little bit of a glimpse of the person, the choker maker, on this second to last page. So please, I need you to save them. And he looks, like a ragged guy, hair stringy down his head or whatever, maybe like kneeling over, kind of getting like Nagato vibes from like Naruto. He's like an old crippled dude, like on a wheelchair type of deal.
That's possible.
Yeah, but
But yeah, I am curious to see what exactly. I'm curious to see what exactly we're gonna go with the reveal that the radio host, I forgot his name again, but like what exactly he's gonna do now that he seemingly has control over everybody in that stadium at the very least. What exactly is his plan to like destroy the world or destroy or take over the world or whatever? I'm curious to see, and I wonder if he's actually a giver.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this seems like some sort of giver power, but like it relied on something like the chokers. Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe it's not a giver thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
What's his? What does he plan to do? Like, what does world domination look like to this guy? And like, what is it? Is this just an army? Like, I have the biggest mass of people under me, so you must do what I say, type of deal, or is like he's just gonna start attacking people and sending like his army of fucking ghouly minions to go and do stuff. It's very interesting. But like we got a lot of parties here already with the cleaners and the Hell Guard and now Mimo's like army. And like is Tamsi gonna show up and are any of the raiders gonna show up? And like Zonka's like homegirl was here, the girl that like remember she the chick his like rival chick from his like old days, she was like saying that she was on the way here too. So like even more people are gonna be showing up for sure.
Yeah.
Watch her be like the wild card in this arc. Like to be like the person, like things go bad for the cleaners, she shows up to turn the tide.
I could see it, but I can see like I don't think she's gonna be an ally at all. Like I don't think she's gonna be like Team Zonka and Cleaners, but I could see her like putting an end to Mimo. Like Mimo's like on top of the world. He's standing on top of the Coliseum, laughing and doing his monologue, and like right at the end, she just like pops up, shut up, idiot, and stabs him through the chest like Maki and fucking Sukuna, like out of nowhere. He's like, what the fuck? And he just gets like decapitated out of nowhere. I can see something like that happening, but I don't see her like showing up and going like, Zonka, what's the situation? I'm here to help type shit.
Yeah.
No, more like enemy of my enemy. Like the greater threat
Yeah.
for that kind of deal. Or for all we know, Orona might make this more of a Zonka arc and kind of like show his growth in front of his the people that he used to know in the Hellguard, like his brother and his like rival, like to show his growth in
Yeah.
this arc.
That would be good because Zonka's been missing from the action for a while, and like the last time we saw him, it seemed like he was about to have a good moment, but it was like hallucinogens and shit. So he's been
Yeah,
getting dunked on.
yeah. Urana gave us like the biggest middle finger in that
Yeah,
instance.
yeah. So
I respect that so much.
he's been getting dunked on by jabbers. So like to have his family and like his rival and his peers all be in the same place, this definitely feels like a Zonka moment is like on the
Yeah.
rise. And then what's the other kid's name? What's the Fu? Is it Fu? Fu?
Yeah,
That's
Fu.
the kid. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fu can actually do something. This can actually like do another thing this arc.
Yeah, I hope he gets a good moment. So like this, what I really hope from this arc is Fu and Zonka get really good moments. And
Yeah.
that would do a lot for those two characters. I mean, Zonka has the the aura and he's cool. People like Zonka because he's cool and shit. So like he doesn't really need a lot, but I feel like he should get a lot because he's been getting dunked on and all his people's here.
Yeah. Something that just came to mind. Since Amo's there and this is technically her first mission, it would be interesting if Amo's if Amo's abilities help snap people out of that like hypnosis, that mind control.
Oh
Since hers
yeah.
are basically like similar in that regard.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Everybody in the fucking concert suddenly just gets a whiff of girl feet.
Why do you have to make it weird, man?
There ain't nothing weird about that, Greek. You need to be about that life.
Girl feet wake
You
everybody
need some
up.
girl
Yeah.
toes in your mouth.
Oh
Yeesh.
man, I'm not
Made it worse,
advocating for
Trappy.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he a toe
But,
guy. Yeah, let's all
like-
point our finger and shame this dude. Yeah,
I'll accept the shame.
that's I don't know what's
yeah, but
worse,
like,
toe niggas or armpit niggas. Yeah,
oh jeez. But yeah,
Armpit, 100%.
I do think. Anyway, I do think. I do think that the situation is ideal. Having like two characters with like abilities that can like mess with people's heads in the same spot. Just that one requires other people to seemingly have one particular item in common. The other is just by scent or aroma that could just encapsulate the area they're in.
yeah, that would be a really cool thing too. Because I've never seen like a mind control battle where like two people are like fighting over control of another person. So like that'd be dope if Mimo and like Babo tells like all his people to go do something, and suddenly they like do the opposite because like Amo has told them to like stand still. And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's trying to figure it out. And then it becomes like a battle, between the two to see who can like take possession of this fucking group of people. That'd be interesting. I've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that would make this even better if, let's say, like Engine, Ryo, and Rudo are kind of focused on one thing. It would be cool if it was Zonka leading the new recruits in this arc. Build up Zonka more, have him be the guy to fight while having Fu and Amo be his support.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Give that. I would love that. Zonka gets his moments. Amo and Fu get to show what they can do as part of the cleaners.
I could see Zonka saving his brother in his arc because his family doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily think positively of him, so that'd probably be
Yeah.
a very good moment for his character.
Yeah.
I mean, based on their interactions, they don't hate him. They just don't expect anything of him,
Yeah.
which arguably could be worse.
I'm wondering how they like run into each other because like Zonka and his brother being here, they obviously aren't just gonna like meet each other at like a corn dog stand, but like I'm wondering
Yes.
what will be the thing that like leads them to like see each other and how that will go. Because like now with all the mind control, I'm imagining like a situation where it's like a human stampede or avalanche, and like yeah, maybe they find a way to break the mind control, but like a ball of people tumbling down a hill is still a ball of people, even if you like break their mind control. And I'm like, what if Zonka is somehow like caught up in this like avalanche, and like when it finally ends, like Zonka is the first person to like slide out, like the ball, like there's a ball rolling down a hill, and when it finally reaches the bottom of the hill, like Zonka slides out from the bottom. He's like tired, and his brother's right there, and he's like, "Hey, bro," or he's like, "Zonka, what the fuck are you doing here?" And it's just like Zonka looks crazy, or it could be the other way around, where like Zonka like stops something crazy that his brother is involved in, and that he's like, good to see you, man, but like we got shit to do.
I
Just
could.
That's
interested
possible.
to see how they like realize that they're both there and meet up with each other and it being a cool interaction instead of just like bumping into each other
Yeah.
in the bathroom or something.
I
It
could
would be
see that.
interesting. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, it would be interesting if Zonka's. Sorry, sorry, I interrupted you. You go ahead, Straffi.
oh no, that's all good. I was just gonna say I could see that working, but I could also see it being like a Blue Spirit from Avatar type situation where it
Oh, I see
ties
what you mean.
back into Zonka saving his brother, but the entire time he's wearing a mask, so his brother doesn't know it's him.
Hmm.
That would
That would be
play into
interesting.
the whole doll festival and everybody's wearing a mask in the earlier scene where Zonka put on his mask to hide from his brother.
Hmm. True. Honestly, something that would be like interesting that would be interesting to see if done right is if like Zonka's brother is the only one in this family that actually like sees some worth in him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like doesn't outright like dismiss him. Like similar to like in Free Room with Stark's backstory, his older brother was the only one that actually like expected anything of him or even treated him with any like sort of like you know empathy and stuff like that. I don't expect Zonga's brother to be like that, but more so like he can see Zonka's like growth in his face and be like, okay, looks like you made the right call. More so like a mutual type of respect instead of like caring older brother type.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that. That'd be cool. I can see also like playing into what Traffy was saying about the mask thing. I can see it being a situation where like maybe Zonka does like save his brother. But it's just for a moment, like he manages to like push his brother out of the way, and then maybe Zonka gets taken away. But maybe he calls him by a name that like his brother doesn't think about it the second, but like only Zonka would know. Like maybe I think his name is Goku or maybe it's Gaku or something, but maybe he calls him like Goki or something, like a pet name or something. He calls him a name and he's like, get out of the way, Jacko or whatever. And, like his brother knows that Zonka is the only person like on the planet that would know that name. So like even though Zonka is like wearing a mask, he realizes that he got saved by his brother who is now like gone. So he can't be like, Zonka, is that you? But like it's a thing.
Yeah.
I can see something like that happening, but we don't know if he has like a pet name for his brother or something. Probably not, because the dude seems like a fucking hard ass. But
Yeah.
that would also work, like if it was what you were saying, where his brother does actually fuck with Zonka and see some worth in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, good chapter. I think I'm squeezed out. What about you? We got anything else for this one?
Nah, I'm hyped for this arc.
Yeah, good arc, good stuff. Lovely. We got bras. Hopefully next time we get some panties. What about you, Traffy? What you think about this one? You got anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, and so that was chapter. I'm searching for it. Chapter 137 of Gachiakuta, the Real Doll Festival for the Feet Niggas.
Yeah.
Now jumping into Ichi the Witch, 35th Hunt, Atone. And gotta say, I love when we get diagrams. That's always very cool. Every series should do this more, especially when a bunch of characters are involved like this. So this is nice to have. Let us know, where everybody is and how far away everything is. So Kamugi's like way up in the town, running from the citizens, and Gokuraku's sister is, a mile away, has no clue that Gokuraku and Ichi are fighting the Bakugami spirit or whatever. So this is fun stuff. What did you think about this one, Weep?
Ah, oh boy. First, I feel bad for Kabugi. The life of being bait is never easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, but everything going on with Gokuraku is just, my lord. So much trauma, so much trauma and a mental and emotional like abuse in the singular mind fuck.
yeah,
Like having to see your sister and having everything like enhanced to be like, oh, you forgot mother, and then oh, your dead mother shows up, says all this horrible shit about your sister, and then to atone, you see her literally slash her own throat, and you just don't want to live anymore.
yeah. It was crazy that they like actually pulled the trigger on that, because like I thought that her pointing the knife like at her throat was probably as far as it was gonna go, and maybe he would like be able to stop her or something. But no, like she
Nope.
in this like dream or whatever this is, this like fake reality that the magic is making him see, like she actually does fucking stab her throat. I was like, whoa, baby, like we go in there, like this is really happening. I thought he was gonna save her. Like, nope.
So,
Nope.
my thoughts. This is excellent character writing. So the whole idea of this like mental space he's in, where he's trying to take everyone's trauma. The idea is that he's stuck in this mud and he's watching everything happening, and he can't do anything to stop it. And it's reflecting how he's felt the entire time that the city's sorrow has been taken by Bakugami. And the way that it links into that to enhance the trauma that he's feeling by showing his sister die, just, oh, it's such good character writing.
Yeah. And it goes crazy because like one thing he wants to shoulder this burden himself. Like he wants to take this on, and so showing him his sister suffering when like that's something that he never wanted to see. Like showing that his sister is now having to. I mean, she's not really even there. She's like in the crib, like up the hill. But like showing him this vision of his sister, like realizing that she had forgotten about the mother, and then the mother being like, "You forgot about me. You should kill yourself." And it's like a lot. It's different from just like showing his mom telling him, or or like making like what makes him sad is seeing his sister sad is like crazy. It's doing a lot.
Yeah, nah,
I really
it's
like that.
just phenomenal writing going on here.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
these pages where the mother shows up and stuff, it reminded me a lot of Act Age near the end. I don't know if you guys read that, but it reminded me
I
a
only read the
lot
first few
of
chapters.
okay, yeah. If anybody here in the comments, Act Age, that shit was phenomenal, and the art. This art here was definitely a lot like Act Age, like near the end with like the Princess Iron fan arc, which that shit gave me chills several times, and so I was almost there with this one. It didn't quite get me shaken up, but like this was some powerful stuff, and like this one page 16, where Goku Raku is like sitting, it's the view is from his back, and you see all the flower petals like flying past him. I feel like that type of shot is normally to show that like the illusion is broken or like something good is happening. Like a bunch of flower petals are flying past him, and it's like, yeah, what bad could happen when you're in a happy field? But no, his sister stabbed herself, and the flower petals have blood on them, and it's interesting.
Yeah, the imagery just goes crazy as well.
Yeah, they definitely killed it, and it's fucking hell. Like I forgot that. Like I didn't forget that Usazaki was doing it, but for a second I forgot that Osamu Nishi was doing it because of like Ichi, not Ichi, but Iruma has like it's deep and dark and feelsy moments to it, but like it's been kind of happy go lucky lately, so I kind of forgot that like this type of writing was in her bag for a moment when I was reading this, and I was like, holy shit, like this caught me off guard. This is dark, yeah.
So
So
just to go back, let me see. When we're getting the conversation with this goddess and we see her spell Yatsukami,
mhm.
that it's such a cool spread because the dragon is a rope dragon. Like it is, the body is a rope.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
was fire.
interesting design because it's like, what what does that mean?
But yeah, like
What
what kind of magic is this?
uh, the
There's,
rope
I feel like
dragon magic?
there's definitely some sort of there's definitely some sort of Japanese folklore in it.
Yeah,
I searched up
most likely.
Yatsukami and I didn't find anything. So if anyone else has an idea, let us know. At
Yeah,
least
there
as
might
far as
be
like the
it might be like
translation
half of
goes.
a full name or something. Yeah. I do wonder like what's the full like theme or whatever. But like this spread, I love it, but like I definitely for a second was like something's missing here on the left side, like where the Yatsukami name is. That white space, like it I was thinking that that was like an error, like cuz the everything behind it is, black and, the sky. So I was like, did she forget to draw that? But like I realized that it's not a full like spread page. It's still separated like with panels. So at first, when I saw this, I thought it was a two-headed dragon. Like I thought it was a rope with dragon heads on each side, but it's just one dragon head, and the tail is like above the taper's head too. But like I thought that this was a second head, and I was like, why is that space white? But this is just a different point of view of the dragon, and there's smoke behind it. So I was like,
Yeah.
for a second, I was like, they made a blunder, and they forgot to draw the sky, but no, it's just the smoke from behind the dragon.
It's
So
just
they uh
I,
they kept it.
everywhere you look
Yeah.
in Ichi the Witch is just you'll find something that just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
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 she's just so cool.
yeah, you have
Discard,
like
she's just
Yeah.
this you have like this inner battle for Discardus because like she cares for Gokuraku, but at the same time she cares more for Ichi and her own life. And so she's like, If I gotta step in, I'll step in." But she has faith in Ichi.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was just saying like the aura farm going on here. Like she's standing on like this magic circle in the air above this like rope dragon that's like just doing, and like while it's like choking out this taper or whatever, she's just like looking at TV, watching watching Ichi and fucking and Goku Raku have their like struggle. It is just like she's so fucking cool, yeah. And
Yeah,
powerful.
Hmm.
she handled
Yeah.
her part of the battle.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the beast has been wrangled.
Yeah.
And
Ichi the
it's
Witch is
like
so
it's easy to forget that like they did sign, she made Ichi sign this like contract. So like yeah, she has to save him because of like her blood contract or whatever, because if he dies she dies, but also I mean she cares about him, and also just like it's just not worth like losing someone as powerful as Ichi to something
like this.
like this. Yeah, it's like fuck it, if it's gonna come down to him or us, like I'm getting us out of here, because like fuck this issue at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, what do you guys think? Like when the chapter during the end of the chapter, when Gokuraku was plunging into the depths of all that negative emotion and sorrow, that light that came out, that one singular speck of light. What do you think that symbolizes?
Ichi's light.
Yeah, I think
That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah, I think it's
Like, I mean,
definitely Ichi.
it's the obvious choice, but yeah, it's the obvious choice.
I mean, as a whole,
Yeah.
for Ichi the Witch, Ichi has been shown as like this positive person in everybody's life. So it wouldn't be too far fetched to have him being the light in the darkness for Gokuraku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like,
yeah, the two of them did connect in the previous chapters. Like they instantly became like best friends, basically, and I kind of love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like right now, Gokuraku is filled with sadness and negative emotions, and like he just witnessed his sister like kill herself, and his mom, talk shit to his sister and tell her to kill herself. So it's like Ichi popping up and getting him to talk about like family. It could be like he could kind of reverse it and start talking about all the great things that come with having family. Like he might start talking about how much he loves his sister and how much he loves his mother and misses her, and like positive emotions, and they'll like outweigh the negatives, and just when you get someone to start talking about something they like and they don't shut up. So like maybe this is a situation where Gokuraku just starts like rambling on about like the good things, about what a family is, because Ichi's never had one. So it's like telling him, it's like finding someone and getting to tell them about your interests. You gonna talk their fucking head off because he asked. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him everything, and then he forgets about the sadness and it puts him in a better mood. So I can see that being the way they like beat this sadness and get out of this.
I think
Mm,
this is great because
possible.
this is a scenario in which Ichi couldn't fight his way out of, unlike the previous, battles he's had. He has
Yeah,
to think outside the
fight back,
box, essentially.
fight back against death for death, like his own
Yeah,
baser instincts and the way
Yeah.
he's lived his life this entire time.
yeah. I think it'll be really cool if like the next chapter, like once this like subsides and we get out of this kind of like mental space, like if we find out that Ichi like, because Ichi like chained him up, he's like Ichi got Gokuraku kind of like webbed to the ground, and I think he kind of blacked out, so like he's just standing there probably foaming at the mouth and like angry, but I don't think he can move, and I don't think he can see anything that's in front of him because he's seeing this like this mental imagery or whatever. So I think Ichi, like the going, what is family? Like Ichi might have just walked up and just sat right in front of him, and it's just kind of like how people when you go when you see in like movies and stuff, somebody's like family member will be like in a coma or something, but people will still talk to them and stuff. I feel like it's a situation like that where Ichi knows that Gokuraku can't like respond, but he goes and talks to him anyway, kind of like he's a statue. Like people get turned to stone or statue, and then like their loved ones will still try and talk to him. So I feel like we might get a situation where Ichi's like, Gokuraku, I know you're in there, man, but like I like to know what family's like because I never had one, and like you seem to care about yours a lot. That's what's driving this, pain so much that you're feeling. It'd be cool
Yeah,
if Ichi's
Yeah.
just like a foot away, and it's like that's the most dangerous place on the planet to be. But like he just trusts in Gokuraku and in his own abilities to have Gokuraku like chained up, that he feels
Yeah.
like safe enough to sit right there.
yeah, man. But yeah, this is a really good chapter.
Yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
good chapter. Um, uh, yeah, since everyone's still far away, like Kamugi and Rishia, um, I don't know. I feel like maybe they might make their way down to this area at some point. Like maybe Kamugi gets chased down there and she's like, I'm sorry, this car stayed, I kind of got led this way while I was running away. But like, I'm just wondering like how much longer the arc is going to be. And I feel like with the diagram, everyone being kind of so far away, maybe there's still, time for a bit more to happen.
I say
Um,
we got. I say we got about like maybe at least at least 6 chapters to deal with this conflict
yeah,
Yeah.
I would be cool with
because it
that.
can't be too long.
Yeah, and I'd like if the magic is just like, okay, you figured out a way to like do this. Fuck you, I'm gonna drop another thing. Like maybe like they beat it or they find a loophole in its like trial, and it gets salty and is like, nope, you cheated. Here's another kind of like trial or something. Or maybe it like after they beat it, like they beat his trial, it starts fighting. It's like, okay, well now I'm just gonna kill you, and like nobody gets to capture me because you're gonna die. Like I want there to be more after they like beat this trial, and like for this arc to be a little longer. Maybe the brainwashed people come and start attacking and trying to like take the taper away or something and stuff like that. There's a lot that like could happen, so I just want to see what will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a really good chapter. A lot of feels, aura, and all that cool stuff. What we
hmm
what we come here for. But anything else for you, Traffy?
Nah, I'm good.
Weeb, how about you?
No, I'm good.
All right, the boys are all squeezed out. That was Ichi the Witch, chapter 35, 35th Hunt, Atone. Now jumping into Odor of the Flame, Odor, OTR, Odor of the Flame, chapter 3, Mead Mountain. But before we jump into that, I feel like it would only be, right to ask you two guys how you feel because um, neither of you have been here to talk about chapter 1 and 2. So, Traffy, what are your overall thoughts about the series so far? And then, we'll get your thoughts if you guys have anything. What do you think so far?
So I am really enjoying it so far. I love the art for sure. The world building is still coming along. I'm not expecting too much. It is only chapter 3, so that's not like a issue. One of the things I do think the series would benefit from, and it's a small detail, but like a map to show how the world is set up. I think that would help with world building. Um,
Mhm.
but I think I'm enjoying it overall.
Okay. Yeah.
So just a
I like the
small
idea of a
complaint.
map. Yeah, I think a map would be really cool, kind of like just like an overview, not to say like here we are and we're going here, but like something like one of those, like a video game map, like an Octopath Traveler. You just open it and you see all the kingdoms and shit, and it's like here's the Ice Kingdom, and here's Mead Mountain, and here's Moon Kingdom, and all that stuff. It'd be cool to get that kind of overview of the world. That would be dope.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
some scale to show because like he goes to Mead Mountain this chapter, and we don't know the relations of anything. So it's like, how long did it take him to get here? Any
Yeah.
kind of visual to show us what it's like traveling in this world.
Yeah, I think that plus like if he would have encountered literally anything between like getting to the mountain, like maybe even if it was just one chapter, like he ran into like a bandit or something that tried to rob him, I think that would have been cool. And maybe he
Yeah.
makes it to Mead Mountain like in the second half of the chapter or something. I don't know. Like I can see just like now that you mentioned the scale and we don't know how long it took him to get here. Those are good points for sure. What you think so far about the series?
I I'm enjoying it so far. I like having like a more Norse themed series in Weekly Shonen Jump for an action series because a lot of people like Vikings and shit like that. So I feel like going for like a Norse mythology inspired series makes things pretty interesting because this makes like two series in a row for the mangaka to do something that's not like based off of like Japanese myth and legend because previously I think you probably said this before, but the mangaka did like Hunter's Guild Red Hood, which is all based off of like Grimm's fairy tales and stuff like that. But this one being based off Norse mythology and building a world from that off the cuff is definitely pretty interesting. Artwork is great, definitely an improvement from when they were doing Red Hood, and the artwork for that one was already pretty good also. But I think back when Traffic was talking about like the amount of time to get from like the from where we were in the first two chapters to right now to Mead Mountain, I think it's the mangaka trying to kind of speed up the process of like getting to certain locations because in Red Hood they kind of spent a bit too much time getting to a spot for like a training arc essentially or an exam arc, and then that's spent a good that ended up being like half of what the manga now is, and then I guess it didn't grasp people, so they ended up having to rush to a conclusion. It's very possible the mangaka just wanted to like get to like right now to the training segments like right off the bat. That way they can like tell the story they want to tell
Yeah.
and like introduce the trainer right off the bat. But
And
other than that, I I'm still I do see the series if Shonen Jump does give it a chance and if it gets like eyes on it, it'll definitely do it'll definitely like go on for a bit. Like Travis said, we do kind of need a map to see like the grander scale of the world and the conflict. But I'm liking the main character. I'm liking that he has like a little fire spirit that he kind of like uses his own life to help create, and getting on this other kingdom of ice and what it means to be a warrior and all that. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you both were saying, and the map thing. Like it's a good point, and I'll like both of you had good points on the map. And I do think, like you said, it probably does have something to do with just not trying to bog down the reader with like a lot of information. It looks like on this first page he is holding a map though, so maybe like at some point it'd be cool if like he sits it down and like even if we just see it for one panel and it's just like you can see like we are here, and then you can see that there's like a bunch of other kingdoms and like an ice king. Like if we could just see that just for a panel, that would be cool. Or
Yeah,
somebody like talks about it very briefly. Um,
I
but
think
like
that's what.
definitely Red Hood suffered from
Yeah, I
that.
think that's what kind of led me to that because I think it's like page 4. They say Mead Mountain, it's huge. According to the map, this is it over there, a dock. And it's like they could have, taken a second to just show the panel of the map, and I feel like that would have been
Yeah.
the perfect place to put it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like we were saying, they're probably just afraid of like doing too much without showing, because in Red Hood they definitely spent a lot of time in one place and then went to another place that was kind of boring and spent a lot of time there and just not giving there wasn't enough cool moments. But so far in Otter or Oder, there's been a lot of cool moments for the main character. So far I think it's an improvement. I think we will get a map probably in a few chapters, hopefully. But yeah, so far everything's been cool to me. I don't really have any issues. Excuse me. But yeah, just looking at chapter 3. They're heading to Mead Mountain to meet the hero known as 610 of the full moon. So that's a cool name. I wonder if he I guess when I read it, I didn't really pay attention. I was just kind of reading it because I wake up and read the chapters, but like of the full moon now makes me think that maybe he might be like a werewolf or something.
Ooh.
And I mean, he's a fucking huge dude, buff, huge, swole as fuck, and he's got like it kind of looks like he has like wolf or bear like fur on his body, like he has like armbands, and he's got like a cloak that's probably made from a wolf or something, or a bear, um, and like
He's
a
also
skull.
Yeah, I was about to say he also has like chin scruff that doesn't match his hair color, and it has like fangs coming out of it.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. So yeah, I wonder if he's like a werewolf guy or something. That'd be cool.
It would be.
And like what is what's the little all right, so just go back, I guess. This good chapter. Just start with that. I love Fyolja. How are you guys saying this? Fylgjja. What was y'all's brain doing with that name?
I
Bilja?
was going with Flyja or something. Flyja. I can't get a good pronunciation. I think I pronounce it differently every time.
Yeah.
Fyolja. Like I know that a lot of times in these like kind of like Norse or whatever, I feel like the J's normally make Y sounds. So I feel like it's like Filgia, Filgia or something. I don't know. This is one that's gonna need an anime or something for me to not fudge it up. Um, but yeah, I like these two main character Otter and Fyoga. They're dynamic so far. Two kids. Well, she's I guess a spirit. I don't know. I don't know if there's like a more mature version or if this is what she always will look like, but she's considering how he's about to train his body, and she lowers her flame so that she doesn't burn up too much of his stamina, and it's like, oh yeah, that's considerate. She's like thinking about stuff like that versus like normally I feel like spirits will let you just kind of burn your soul out because it's like, yeah, your soul is bad when you die, so it's like, fuck it, kill yourself. But she's like, I don't want to like take too much of your energy, and you're about to be training and stuff, so I'll lower the output. Like she does that. He doesn't like think and tell her to do it or anything. It's just interesting that she has her own, mind and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. 610. 610's a weird dude, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like the entire conversation about training Oder is just so wishy-washy because he's constantly going back and forth.
Yeah, I feel like
Uh,
he might have like a memory issue or something. Like something's
I
going on in
guess.
his mind. maybe maybe just being the hero means that he fought so many times that he's just had so many fucking concussions and shit that his brain is just a fucking scrambled egg in there. But
Has to
like,
be.
yeah, I like how we kind of get like Ichi vibes here when page 5 when Otter sees like the flame and he's like talking about the campfire and how he can tell that the way that the wood was cut, what type of knives would be used. But he's like, if we could find some flint that would tell us, what where it came from, and the way that the campfire is set up would tell us if it's like a northern tribe or a southern style or something. There's a lot. I feel like this is like some Ichi the Witch type shit. Like Ichi would find a campfire and do this same type of thing. Um,
Yeah,
so it's nice to see that. Go ahead.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Like
cool because
just Ichi.
yeah, it's cool because like Otter, like when we meet him, we just are told that he's like the cook. We don't really know that he has very much experience in anything besides cooking and like now being able to wield fire. And like he was asking, can I use a sword so that I could be a warrior too? And it's like, okay, so a little more than cooking and probably like finding food. He's like trained himself and learned this stuff, so he's got skills. This is good for his character. It'll be nice to see like this type of stuff be applied later on. And if he has to like track someone, like if he's trying to find, because he kind of did find this fucking hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude's huge, man. First thought when I saw it, it was like, okay, so a lot of people were complaining about like Red Hood having buff mommy fan service, and I was like, we did have a buff muscle woman in chapter 1 and chapter 2, but she didn't take up a lot of the spotlight. But it's kind of funny that like we swapped her out for fucking buff man service. Like we immediately get big jack dude who could easily be like, if he gets some cool moments, like I can see people like falling in love with his character and there being like
Yeah,
fan art of him.
I can see that
The
too.
the panel where he's like reaching for odor, that is so cool.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
fire page.
super intimidating.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that in some places, like maybe One Punch Man or maybe like fucking
I think MHA did
Shigaraki.
the yeah MHA Shigaraki.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
Shigaraki reaching for like Deku's face or something. Like I've seen, and I mean it makes sense because he was an assistant under Horikoshi.
Horikoshi.
Yeah, but like dodge this, be like right like it's away from his face, dodge this, like holy fuck, bro. And he
Yeah.
manages to do it.
Yeah. And the whole fight is so creative because like he's trying to converse the plan with Filja, however you pronounce that. Um and he's being attacked during that. He's using fire as a distraction and he's trying to avoid using her so he maintains his stamina. It's creative. It's a creative way to have like his first I guess
Like training
like
battle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that like yeah, he knows that like Otter has this fire power, so you would be expecting him to use it. So like it makes a lot of sense that he could use just the regular fire to like play into that and like make Sixten kind of misjudge his intentions in the fights. Like he's expecting the fire power, but nope, I'm just using the regular campfire flames. Just like quick thinking. He's quick on his feet with this combat stuff, even though he's not like really a warrior yet. He's just kind of he's trying to get there, but he has the instincts.
Yeah, I do like the last page though because it feels very reminiscent of like Spider-Man and Iron Man in No Way Home, except it's skipping the step where he has to learn that if using the power of
Mhm.
fire is all I can do, then I'm nothing more than a burning piece of firewood. It's cool. I like the
Yeah,
writing here.
yeah, it's dope. And it like this page, like with the runes and stuff, it reminds me of like it feels like this is like in the first chapter, Otter's sister was kind of like she was talking about how he always talks about like these epics and legends of like other heroes and stuff, and he was he was kind of like arguing with himself, like he was having this internal conflict where he was like talking about how he's not going to go to Valhalla and he's not going to see his father if he doesn't like fight and die on the battlefield like a warrior. But then he remembered his sister saying like, don't like die, you should like, you know, be strong, but like I want you to become, you know, do something, but like be a hero, but like make sure you can come home to tell me because I want to hear about your epic stories. And like pages like this feel like something out of an epic. Like if you were looking at like a legendary tale or something, or if like this was like a trading card that was taken out of a moment, like when you hear about like the story of like a great hero, like a I don't know, like a just a throw a name like Beowulf. Like you imagine like a shot like this, and it's like this is cool because this looks like if someone were to tell like 100 years down the line after this story ends, if someone were to tell the legendary tale of Otter of the Flame, like this would be how they would paint him. Like this looks like a painting that would be on someone's wall or something, like a collectible. This is cool, like the with the runes and shit. Him holding the fucking fire and shit. It looks very cool. It looks like they just snapped it out of a legend, and I really love that the details that they're giving because like no other pages here have these runes on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And like it's you know it's not like the runes aren't really there. It's not like he's casting these runes. That's just for visual, you know, for us, like the vibe for the aura. So this is a really cool detail I like. And I wonder if that's like what the intent is for it to be like the shot out of a legend.
We are being retold the story of Otter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that'd
is
be
cool
cool.
stuff. Yeah, but dude's huge, giant man, big fish, and he wants some meat. I like this girl character he's got with him. I don't know what her deal is, but now that we kind of like said maybe he's a werewolf or something, maybe she is a werewolf tamer or something. If he's a wolf, I don't know. What do y'all got any thoughts about this little girl?
I have no
Uh,
idea at this point
too early to tell for me.
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
like,
it's hard to say. She's
what is he training her in? Like, yeah,
yeah.
I
She
don't know.
says I'm his pupil, and her name. Everyone's got crazy names. 610 is like the most normal name. Her name, Etu Pirko. It's like,
Edo Pirco.
yeah, what's and like is you know now that I'm thinking about it, like a character design like her, she's cool. I like her so far, and like when when a character like her is introduced, I feel like people automatically assume that like they'll join the crew. Like I don't imagine 610 will join the gang, but like Otter has to have like friends. So like I wonder if they will train together on this mountain and maybe something will happen and Sixten gets killed and then Etu Pirko joins and now it's Otter, Etu Pirko and Fiolja or whatever on their like adventure and like that'd be cool. I don't know what her
Yeah.
power is yet, but like she's got a cool design, you know, cute kid. I don't know, like is this a snowball in her hand or is it like a crystal ball? Like is she like a does she do divination or something? But just this dude's huge, so like what could he possibly be teaching her besides like how to survive, like how to like hunt and cook? Like can't wait to find out what's going on there.
Yeah,
She turns
me
out
too.
to be like a Sakura-esque character. She's really fucking strong, even though she doesn't look like it.
Maybe.
Yeah, like a bisky, like she just beefs up, just
Yeah.
super muscular or something. Or maybe she's the werewolf and he's like fucking teaching her how to like use
Control
her
herself.
werewolf powers. Yeah. She normally like flips out and goes crazy and he's the actual like tamer and you know appearing to be super intimidating so nobody like fucks with her. Wonder what these marks are on her face, like these two like F
Runes.
marks and lines. Yeah, runes. Does she cast magic and stuff? Um, yeah, I don't know. So far, really liking what I see, and you know, think you're being 16. We can't ignore that kingdom's invasion. I think you're being a bit hasty and judging him by his age. I'm a kid too. And he's like, huh? A kid? You're right. You're so reliable. I forgot. So yeah, like what is she doing for him and how is he training her is the question.
Yeah.
So I looked up Norse runes and it looks like it's LA. or like a rough translation is La.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but
It's funny because like when I saw her, the first thing I thought of was La Brava from My Hero, and he was an assistant under fucking Horikoshi, and her having LA on her face. Just completely coincidental, but just like interesting still.
so looked into it some more, and we have the L is Laguz or water lake, and then the F is A or Anzu's god Odin. So god of water,
Hmm. Okay. What if
maybe.
she's
I don't.
like what if she's like a fucking half god like child, like she's like a bastard of a god or something, and she's been sent here to train under this hero.
You know what? That would actually, like, if she was like in control of water, or she was in control of a water spirit. So then you have her and Odor of the flame. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It'd be cool. Huh. I
Oh.
mean, it's still early. It's still very early in the series, so it's hard to say too much. We'll be getting in there in a few more chapters once there's more meat to talk about. But right now, it's just character designs and speculations. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, really like what we got here, and Otter surprised everyone I think by landing a blow on Sixten. I mean, does that count when? I feel like that counts. Like even though he blocked it, like that should count, right? Like he
Yeah.
he actually touched him.
Yeah. I mean, he landed a blow, even if it was guarded.
Yeah. Like I
Um,
be all whenever like people say like if you can hit me or whatever, if you can land one hit on me, I'll do whatever you say. Like does it count if if like they hit like my guard, or like can you, because if you can hit me even once, it's like technically he didn't like hit. I mean, technically he did hit him, but it wasn't like a blow. Like it was guarded. So does he go like, nope, that don't count. You actually gotta like sock me in my face, catch me off guard, or what?
yeah. We'll see next chapter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will see Otter pull off some more fire moves, but a good chapter 3 so far. I think it's definitely a big improvement over Red Hood. Did you read Red Hood, Traffy?
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Okay, yeah. So how you feeling compared to Red Hood?
I really liked Red Hood. And this just seems like a massive improvement over that.
Yeah, I agree. And then I know you said you read it too. Did you finish Red Hood Weep?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You think it's an improvement so far too, or no?
So far, so,
Still
so
waiting.
far, I do think it's a bit of an improvement.
Yeah. I think it does a lot by just like I was saying in the previous episode. I think this series already does a ton by one having Otter do something cool, because Velo never really like had any cool moments to himself. It was all like grim, kind of still in the spotlight. And so like, yeah, we got a buff mommy chick, but she didn't like immediately steal the spotlight from Otter. And then like, so we got Otter getting his spotlight, his moment, and the buff lady doesn't like steal the spotlight, doesn't have like tons of screen time, and she's not like overly sexualized. Kind of like, I mean, Grim wasn't like, she was sexualized, but she still had like clothes on, so she was just like a tight clothed women. It wasn't like she was wearing like a bathing suit. Like it wasn't like a lot of these other stories where you got like women falling over and going, oh my god, my boobies. She just was thick and had like tight pants on. So like, yeah, it was there, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But like in this, it's even less. Like the fan service compared to Red Hood is like non-existent. And then like Otter has already left the village versus like Velo spent like the first 6 chapters in his home village. So like we're already moving to a new location. So I feel like this already has a lot of like plus marks over what Red Hood did. Um
Yeah.
Plus like having a cool like companion fairy type of deal, that's always cool. Like having someone that isn't like super experienced, because Grim was experienced. Grim was like Gojo, and it was like just bringing Gojo along with you on the adventure. Like, yeah, she's gonna kind of shit on everything, but like with Fuelja, it's like you got like an inexperienced, maybe not inexperienced, but like a fairy who's kind of new to being like an entity like this, kind of joining along on the adventure and tagging along. This is a lot cooler than inexperienced guy with buff Gojo chick still in the spotlight. I like it a lot so far. So
Yeah.
I'm here for the ride. We'll see what happens with chapter 4, but I'm squeezed out. You got anything else for this one, Weber?
No, I'm good.
All right, Traffy.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, that's going to do it for Order of the Flame, Chapter 3, Mead Mountain, baby. Now jumping into Kagurabachi, the last second of the night, Chapter 80, Secret Room. And this was a banger chapter as usual. I feel like Kagurabachi kind of always does its thing. Was normally I would say kind of annoyed to see POV shift right when we get something hype like Azumi and his execution ground. Everybody wants to see that, but I'm not mad. At the what we jumped to. This was still a good chapter and a lot of interesting stuff. What did you think about this one, Traffy?
Um, this chapter, it's lore heavy, like
Yeah,
very
Very
lore
lore heavy.
heavy. There's so much information, and um, where it goes, oh, oh, they are in trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I love this chapter just because I'm a sucker for lore. Just learning more about the Sazanami and how they're training, kind of how the ranking works, and their current plan for dealing with these invaders. Um, super entertaining.
yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's really cool to see like all the information that they have, like this massive library full of the basics and stuff that like basically every sorcerer needs to learn. And Hakure is just gulping because he's just like, man, there's a lot that I could have studied. He studied, and there's a couple times where he just kind of like seems overwhelmed by all the information that he might have to learn or whatever. Like what is expected of him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of he's got big shoes to fill. But yeah, Hakuri is super cool, man. Love having him back. And these guys were sleeping on him.
Yeah,
They thought that they were just gonna bully him.
I love how they brought him back nerfed because we talked about how his power was kind of overwhelming for the story, and nerfing him is a great way to fix that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Him.
I
now,
Go ahead.
uh, um, now having to deal with traitors in their midst because their families are in danger. It's like, who can be trusted, who can't be trusted. And they mention, infighting going on here and how people are dying and blocking their path. So it's interesting to say the
Yeah,
least.
I forget his name, but I did see on Twitter a lot of people were thinking that this guy was a traitor. The dude that's with Hakuri with the mouth thing. I forget his
Yeah.
name, but like a lot of people were saying that they think he's a traitor. I don't think he is, but like even in this chapter, people were saying they think he might still be revealed to be a traitor.
It's possible because we don't see a dead body. We just see
Yeah,
his mask.
yeah, Mr. Kudo, that's his name. He protected me,
Yeah.
and okay, yeah, I like dude. And he said that the little dudes should be around here somewhere, probably fighting. So be I can't wait to see if the little guy's gonna fight. I forget his name, the little short dude,
We'll just call him
old
Glasses Guy.
yeah, old Hitsugaya basically.
Yeah. Wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
Old man Toshiro. But yeah, it's cool that basically everything that happened in Hakuri's past just kind of made him tough. Like these guys, they need him in the face. He bluffed. He's how are you guys? What are you guys gonna do after I took your swords? And then they just respond with fucking Captain Falcon forward air to the face. It's like beat your ass. That's what we gonna do. But like he's been getting his ass kicked for his whole life, so he's just like tough as shit. Uh, while Hakuri was toughened up by a decade of bottomless love from the eldest scion of the Sazanami clan. So it's like, yeah, it sucked that his upbringing was fucking horrible and he got the shit beat out of him his whole life, but like that shit made him who he is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man,
It's
I oh sorry, go.
no. Go ahead.
No, I just wasn't expecting things to go for the turn it did. Like, basically almost everyone who's working here, at least from what's being believed, even higher ranking ones, seem to be getting blackmailed. And I'm like, oh, where are we gonna go with this?
Yeah, it's like they got something on everybody.
Yeah, the only thing, yeah, and Hakari being here, literally, he is kind of like the wild card, even though he's nerfed. His
Yeah,
abilities could definitely turn the tide of the fight in a favorable position if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
especially
his entire goal is to get to the oh, my brain.
Shinichi.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So he can put it in his warehouse. So he is like in this building. He is the most important player at this point.
Yeah, but there are a lot of players, and
Yeah.
like we get introduced to some more. Like on this page 4, most of the members of the council are up there in age. The ones fighting right now are probably our best bet. Each of them directly commands their own elite troops. So that's new information. We found out that like there could potentially be, you know, kind of like a bleach squad captain type of deal where it's like the bunch of people who lead, you know, another 3 or 4 people, and like we get some cool character design, especially this chick with the glasses looking
Yeah.
good. We only got half of her face, but like, you know, like what I see. And
her
she's
her look reminds me of the vacuum cleaner chick from Hunter x Hunter. I
oh
don't know why. She just yeah, I
shit,
can't
what's her
remember the
name?
name.
She reminded me of Simiyu from Gachiakuta. Um
Ah,
vacuum chick hunter. Holy fuck, I can't believe I forgot her name. Shizuku.
yeah.
Yeah.
She
I could
just
see
gives
that.
me the same vibes.
Yeah. Someone says she's also a reverse grip, I guess, because of the way she's holding her sword. So she's also doing kind of like what a Samura and them be doing. I'm not familiar with, I guess, that kind of stuff. I guess maybe, yeah, because like normally people don't really hold their swords like that, but that'd be cool if she's also one of those reverse swap grip EI swordsmen, but she's got vision. And they gave her like the little the lip gloss. Yeah, I feel like when they do that little, like on her lip, she's got like a little circle or whatever, like to show that like her lips are shining. I like when they do that. Yo, that's for me. Give it a
Yeah.
so that she got plump, shiny lips. Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's for me right there. Yeah, small detail, but I appreciate it. She got that look. Yeah, little thin frame glasses. Yeah, I like her. Yeah, show me more of this Hokuzono. Don't kill her. If you kill her, I'm dropping this shit.
Next chapter, we find out she's 15, and then we just gotta throw shade at Yato.
Bro, ain't no way, bro.
I'm all for I'm all for just throwing shade at him for no reason at this point. That'll
Come
be
on,
funny.
man. I'm just a lover of beautiful women, man. That's all. The people understand. But yeah, this good chapter. I always thought that this situation with the guy sitting on the like floating pillow with his head in the thing to operate the barrier, I thought this shit was hilarious. Like every time I see it, and now we know that there's like 7 dudes who just take turns doing it.
Yeah.
It
It's so
reminds me
funny.
of Naruto and the Nara clan.
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
do
Or
like
no,
the
not
barriers or
Nara.
whatever. Um,
Uh,
uh,
Ino's
You know.
family.
yeah.
Yeah,
Was not Abarai. I forget her last name.
same.
I mean, she's Nara now because she married dude, but but yeah, her family, yeah, they do the whole barrier thing. It's
Yep.
probably what it was inspired by, because I mean, this author is, you know, big on Naruto, and Kishimoto even like recommended it. Um,
Yeah.
I can't remember who said it, but someone on Twitter said like it'd be crazy if like the Hishaku like burned down this library, and it just deleted like years and years of history and knowledge that the Kuminabi had down here.
Uh,
Like all this knowledge gone because they burned it and destroyed their like hideout. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, true. And it is interesting. Like, let's say they do succeed in separating putting the sword in the storehouse. Uh, there's still the strong chance that the entire Kabunabi will just end up getting like eviscerated or heavily crippled in this situation.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can definitely see that happening.
yeah, and I'm still like wondering like I think it was me and Knox. I don't think you guys were around while me and Knox were talking about it, but I was just wondering, like, how the fuck did they even get this dude? Like, how did they even get the sword uh, saint to like lock himself up? Like, did he like accomplish some grand goal and was like, all right, I'm done, like locking me up, or did they like beat him and lock him up? Like kind of like
I'm pretty sure it was explained in Samura's backstory that it was stated that all of the enchanted sword wielders had to fight the sword master so they could actually be able to lock him up.
I'm gonna have to look back on that because I feel like there was nothing said, and it just reminded me of like Sukuna when they were talking about like eventually Sukuna was like defeated or something back in the day. I'm just like wondering like what the fuck were the circumstances, because he died at some point and then he was like brought back to life or some shit. So I'm like, how did this dude get in jail? Like, because I just can't see, based on what he was doing. He killed over 200,000 people. I just can't like see this dude like losing to anyone. But now I'm wondering, like, if his sword is here and he's here, like, are they gonna like, is this fight gonna get to a point where like they shake the foundation of this building so much and like his prison cell or whatever comes unlocked and he just like turns around, open, the door is open and he sees like Hakuri like out there fighting, like running with his sword or something, and he walks out and then like all hell breaks loose. Now he's just killing everyone in sight, type of deal.
I mean, if the author wanted to go with like the worst case scenario, that is a strong possibility. Also, like I don't know if it was stated, but I don't think Kakuri knows about like the truth about what happened during the war in the Swordmaster. So there's always the possibility that maybe one of the higher ups is a traitor, but might actually be trying to like, but it might be like a third wild card that wants like the Swordmaster to kind of do it to kind of destroy shit. So what if he
Yeah.
ends up tricking the Swordmaster? I mean, tricking Kakuri to get the Swordmaster and the Enchanted Blade into the storehouse, and then he lets him out, and then all hell breaks loose.
That'd be nuts if Hakuri somehow gets the sword and the sword master like into his fucking space. Like he's like in there, he's like, oh, what a coincidence. My favorite thing in the world is right here. This is his fucking blade. Like I could, bro, like imagine he like cuts his own way out of the space. Like he just
Either
like
that,
murders
it's
the
either
space.
that. Oh, sorry. No, it's either that or he meets the Swordmaster and just gives him the blade. He's like, okay, we kind of need your help on this.
I can see that.
I could see that because I don't think no one like explained that the Swordmaster is a mass murdering genocidal maniac.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
maybe like Hakuri gets to a point where he can't use his ability because like he's been fighting for so like he sews like 70 more dudes and he's at the point where he can't like use his storehouse and he's just running with the sword in his hand, but like he trips over like a body, like he knocks somebody out. There's just like people laying on the ground. He trips over a body, the sword flies out of his hand and like slides over to the sword master. And he's like, huh, thanks, kid. Grabs it, just murders everybody.
That
That
is
would
a
be
strong
unfortunate.
possibility.
Yeah, that shit would suck for everyone. But I think it'd be cool as fuck if he does manage to get him in, and then like the sword master takes his sword while in the storehouse and just punches a hole out, kind of like how Chidori and in Ranger Reject when he was in the school, he punches the way out of the dimension when he was fighting Magatsia. Like he just
Yeah.
breaks the alternate space.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that'd be nuts. But
Mhm.
yeah, good chapter. Um, yeah, can't wait to see what Hakuri's gonna do. I'm not mad about not seeing Chihiro for a while, because that stuff's kind of wrapping up. But
And
like,
I think that was a smarter call to build up suspense.
yeah,
Yeah,
we kind of
definitely.
spin back around there after we see what Hakuri and Azumi's doing here, and then we jump back to Chihiro, and it's like the end of that arc or whatever. This stuff is this definitely um, very interesting, and I like that somebody pointed out that these guys at least keep up their part of the bargain. Like they're kidnapping these people's families and stuff, and the dude he goes like, oh, as for Ishihara, he did his part so you can release his daughter instead of being like, all right, toss his daughter to the sharks. He actually released the hostage.
Yeah.
That is definitely like unexpected.
Yeah, like 'cause normally they'd be like, feed him to the pigs or some shit, but nope, he's actually, fucking or leave him in the cage type shit. But nope, let the daughter go. That's the hat guy too. The hat Hishaku dude with the plant
Yeah.
sorcery. So yeah, bro's he's doing shit. Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
hella
just chilling
names
in a
still.
cafe.
Yeah, chilling in a cafe. He's got hella names on this list though. So like there's clearly more traitors and stuff to see. He's got people blackmailed. So yeah, we're probably gonna see a lot of this traitor plot line going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. But let's see. Was there anything else? Yeah, lots of cool characters and stuff. Um, more Hakure's always great. So not sure what I really want for next week, but definitely either more Hakuri stuff or more Azumi stuff. Otherwise, I'll be sad. But it's crazy that Shiba still hasn't showed up because
Yeah.
they said that Shiba was like the peak sorcerer, basically like the Gojo here. We don't know what he does or why he's so strong or anything, but like we're seeing the next best thing with Azumi about to fight this samurai dude. So
Yeah, like
we'll see
where
next week.
is he?
Yeah, like bro he's taking a shower right now and he's got to go like pick up some fucking Krispy Kreme donuts, and then somebody's gonna call him like, "Yo, we're fucking under attack." And he just, holy shit, wasn't paying attention. My bad. I don't know.
Checks his phone, he's got 20 missed calls.
Yeah, the fucking ring light on the Kuminabi fucking door, like he's got like 1,000 notifications. Somebody at your door. Somebody at your door. It's like, bro, what the fuck? He's just not paying attention. But because he went to get he went to go like to a car wash, and after he vacuumed the car, he left his phone on the roof, so he's just driving with his phone on the roof. Don't know, something stupid. Anyway, that was chapter 80. You guys got anything else? Weep.
No, I think I don't think I got anything else to say.
Okay, Traffy.
Yeah, I'm spent.
All right, that's gonna do it for Kagurabachi chapter 80, Secret Room. If we missed anything, which we probably did, let us know down in the comments, baby. That's gonna do it for this one. All right, before we get up out of here, we got to talk about our favorite chapters of the week, of course. I'm gonna go last, I guess. Traffy, what was your favorite chapter this week?
Ooh, my favorite chapters are tied between Shangri-La and Gachiakuta. Both were huge chapters with a lot going on. It's got to be Shangri-La. I like what
Yeah.
Shangri-La is setting up for going into this next arc, the Dragon Blight. Oh my god, yeah, it's Shangri-La for me, 100%.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Weed? What you thinking?
Like mine is tied between Ichi and Shangri-La, but I think Shangri-La setting up a bunch of stuff for the future is definitely like really good. I'm going with Ichi mainly for like mainly the character writing and all the
Okay.
setup for it and the theming.
Okay. Yeah. That was definitely a good chapter. Everything had good chapters this week, but I think I'm gonna go and agree with Traffy. I think Shangri-La Frontier took it from me this week. It was a massive chapter, lots of plot developments, and as usual, things get introduced, more things that we want to know more about. But like overall, it was just a big chapter, and it leads up to a huge amount of plot things. So I feel like normally Kagurabachi steals this. We give it to Kagurabachi a lot. So anyone who is expecting us to say Kagurabachi should probably be scratching their head and going, "Hey, why didn't they say Kagurabachi? Let me go check out this Shangri-La Frontier thing." You should go read it, man. The dude is. It's not a furry manga. The dude's just wearing a bird mask, so you don't have to feel, you know, you don't have to like read it and not tell anybody about it. It's just a mask, baby. So you can read it. So go read Shangri-La Frontier because we gave it bangers thumbs up, 8 thumbs up or whatever. That's going to do it for our chapters of the week. Now, I'm just going to take a quick glance over at some of the comments from our previous episode and highlight some of the stuff that you guys were saying. I got Master Sonic 707. He says, that chain fight in Ichi the Witch. Fairy Tail did it with Gray and Julia, and I'm not familiar with that. I know Weeb is a Fairy Tail guy. Do you remember? Did you have any thoughts about that fight when you were reading the chain fight thing with Ichi and Gokuraku last week?
Funny thing is that I actually finished my rewatch of the final season like literally last week.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is similar. The only it is very similar. The only difference is that Gray and Julia were kind of like chained together and being forced to try and kill each other.
Okay. I mean, in a way, it's kind of the same.
It's kind of the same thing. The only difference that fight ended with both of them not willing to kill the other, so they try they try and kill themselves.
Okay. Okay.
So
Traffy, you got any fairy tale knowledge at all? Like, have you read or watched fairy tale?
No, but it does actually kind of remind me of the fight with it's in the Bleach novel, the Fear
Fear on World.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Because a specific character, I'm not going to spoil it just in case anyone wants to read it, but a specific character unlocks his Bankai, and it's like chains. Um,
Hmm.
and it puts them into like an equal fighting ground where they have to fight each other, and that's kind of what that reminded me of, just less complicated. But
Okay.
yeah, no, I don't have any fairy tale knowledge.
Okay. One more comment before we wrap this up from Toomif, 17.99. I'm rooting heavily for Otter to have longevity. Red Hood was awesome, and it should have gotten a chance with a better editor. Thanks for the podcast. Thank you for the comment. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. We all are having fun with Otter and hope that it sticks around. Traffy, you got any thoughts for Otter?
Nope. I like Otter. I liked Red Hood. So wait, Red Hood, whatever. I liked both of
You was
them.
ready. Yeah. 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 What about you? Thoughts?
uh, no, I have the exact same sentiments. I really hope Otter does well in Weekly Shonen Jump. It has the potential to be a mainstay. Hopefully, it has a better editor than when Red Hood was around. But let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like, even though we have Kagurabachi and Ichi the Witch, I still felt like there should be at least one or two more for it to feel like, I don't think Jump's like in a bad spot, because there's also like Akane Banashi and New Age Exorcist, which are doing pretty well. But like, I feel like there needs to be, like three or four of like,
Big sellers
yeah,
outside
big
of One Piece.
selling, battle shonen hit manga, and like we've always kind of had like three or four, and like now I feel like if Otter sticks around, we will kind of be in a really good spot for the next 5 or so years, as long as none of these manga like end in that time. But yeah, I feel like Jump's in a good spot now, especially with
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So that's it for the comment section. So that does it for Shonen Pulse episode 28. I'm your host Yato, and I was joined with my boy Papa Traffy.
Yeah.
And man, let them know. Will you be back for the next episode, or what's the future looking like for you? How's your schedule and stuff?
I should be able to come on to the next episode.
Okay. Let us know, what you thought about the episode and the manga and anything that we said, especially if we got anything wrong or mistaken, or forgot anything. Definitely go check out Shangri-La Frontier if you haven't already, or you're not listening to that segment, because that was one of my favorite segments today. Self plug, but not myself. But you need to, if you're listening to this, you need to go and listen to the audiobook for Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've done my one recommendation for the day. If you don't, I'm going to come find you. Listen to it on Audible. I'm not getting paid for this, but thanks for watching the podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Stomp on them buttons, baby. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you next time. Holla.